Yeah! Woo! Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on this Tuesday morning, and we are fired up after an Aztecs win.
Yeah, baby.
Pretty decent Monday Night Football game. I mean, if you're into complete blowouts and watching a quarterback for the Jets just surrender offensively, and Travis, TD, just walked in with a box of, what the hell is in there?
I might preemptively tell you to take a lap. What is this?
I think it's sponge candy.
Oh my
God.
God. Okay, hang on a second.
Buffalo.
Yeah, but I got a call yesterday saying, hey, you have a box here. It says perishable.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I'll get it tomorrow.
Leave it for the morning. You need to get a pocket knife and open that sucker, because if there's sponge candy in there, it looks like we're having sponge candy for breakfast.
80-20, boys.
Love the Bills.
You're damn right we do. So yeah, Buffalo hosted Thursday Night Football. I guess, when was that? Last week?
Was that last week?
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Maybe.
Last week we didn't do a fun guest for Thursday night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I don't know what it
Watsons of Buffalo, or whatever they call, actually, I want to give them a shout out if they're going to be sending us gifts.
It's Watson's Chocolates of Distinction.
There you have it. Okay, so Watson's Chocolate of Distinction sent us a box of candy, and Travis is going to open that up. But first, okay,
I'm excited.
27-6 final Monday Night Football last night.
Lots of sacks.
Lots of sacks. So Brandon Staley,
11 dudes on each side. Wait.
yeah.
Oh,
That equals
Plenty to go
44?
around. Well, yeah, technically, yes.
this
Yeah.
is a hell of a packaging job.
Jeez, I mean, they really went full Monty here. Okay, hang on. Before we get to
Good
Monday
dry
Night
ice.
Football, we have now the sampler. Yeah, this is Buffalo's Best Buds. This is Watson'sChocolates.com.
Okay. All right. We got a nice thank you card, I think.
Let's see it.
Oh, whoa. We're dropping.
You got the.
Thanks for having us on the show. Go Bills. And we got a Watson sticker. I'm gonna put it on my car. This is awesome.
So Brandon Staley, is he fighting his way off the ropes? All right, as a head coach, a lot of people talking about. I mean, a lot of people flat out saying he should lose this job. And all of a sudden, through 2 weeks, his defense has stepped up in a major way. And it was a sack fest for Zach Wilson last night. I don't know, man. Like, if the Chargers play like that, if their defense plays like that, they're going to be a very dangerous team in the AFC. All of a sudden, an even record on the season, 500 football team.
I agree with you, Rich. And Brandon Staley might be fighting himself off the ropes. I don't know what exactly it would take for the Chargers to not fire him this year. Is it 1 win in the postseason? Is it 2 wins in the postseason? I mean, we've seen the Chargers fire good head coaches before. I think you were part of a team that happened with. So I don't really understand what it would take for Brandon Staley to completely keep his job, given the public outcry, given the lack of success against good teams. And I don't really put the Jets in a good team category. I think they have a really good defense, not necessarily last night. But I don't know, once the Chargers start beating the Chiefs, once the Chargers start beating some of the upper echelon teams in the NFL, then I can feel comfortable about Brandon Staley's job.
Yeah, you look at their recent record. They obviously beat the Jets by a bunch last night. And then the game prior to that, it was the Chicago Bears in primetime, and they knocked them off too. But the game prior to that was a pretty good thumping from the Chiefs. Now, I will say this, in a loss to the Cowboys, they held that Dak Prescott-led offense only 20 points, and that was a close game. So over the last 3 games against Dallas, the Bears, and the Jets, their defenses showed up in a big way.
Now, that win against the Vikings is looking a little better, given what the Vikings have done recently. But at the time, we weren't really taking the Vikings all that seriously. The loss week 1 against the Titans is starting to look like a really bad loss, given what the Titans have done recently. So I don't know. This Chargers team is a little confusing to me.
Well, what's interesting about it is you can't look at the NFL that way, right? Because I know what you're saying, but you got to take every week for the wins and the losses. Like, there's no style points in the NFL.
Right.
Like in college football, yeah, what you said, like if it's Alabama, man, I'll tell you what, that win over Tennessee means nothing because all of a sudden they've lost 3 straight. It's like, it doesn't matter because it doesn't, there's no power rankings here. You win your division, you're into the postseason. You have the best record out of the rest of the conference teams, you make it to the wild card round. It's wins and losses. So as a 500 football team, you know, who really were behind the 8 ball 3 weeks ago, all of a sudden, I mean, this is a big road victory. And I told you guys yesterday, I was like, there is no way I'm taking the Jets in the points because I think the Chargers are going to win by a lot. But if this is a close game, you got to go with the Jets because it feels like they lose close games. Well, they haven't even allowed these games to be close over the last 2 weeks. And the Chargers, they're a good front-running team. They play with the lead well, and they were able to pile on last night against a very weak Jets offense, especially that offense. Holy cow, that offense cannot get out of its own way.
No, the Jets are stumbling. Jets, I mean, we knew that as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down. I mean, you knew that the Jets were going to have a tough time on offense. You're going to throw Zach Wilson back in, who all of a sudden you got to kickstart him. You got to get it rolling again to where he's leading the offense because he did not have any thought he was going to have to lead an offense when, 5 plays into the season. So, the Jets, they're doing okay for what they have. I feel like that Jets defense is phenomenal. They didn't look great in all aspects last night, but I think the Jets defense is what's keeping them in these games. If you can just not have to ask too much from Zach Wilson, and then you get these wins. And that's what I think they're just trying to do. That's the goal. Limp along and wait for Aaron Rodgers to come back. And hopefully he comes back soon enough that you can get a playoff berth and all of a sudden you can roll again. The Chargers, I think, look pretty good. They're, to me, the second best team in the AFC West. And I think that their record has not been reflective of the team they are. And if they can get healthy, they could make a real run. But you look, Justin Herbert, every single play, he's still trying to favor that hand with that hurt finger.
Oh, yeah.
It's hampering his ability to play.
Yeah, he was injured for a lot of the season last year, ribs and other things. This season, it's with the hand injury on the non-throwing side. But, as we've discussed in the past, like Justin Herbert's going to struggle with that because every time you get hit and you're going to the ground and you try to brace yourself, you can't fall on your hand anymore. You have to trust that your elbow is going to be able to receive the blow, or you're going to land on your shoulder and you're going to try to roll. And maybe that leads to another injury or more discomfort or just more to think about when you're under pressure in the pocket. Like, oh gosh, how am I going to brace for this fall? And so maybe you're a little gun shy to deliver. I will say this, not a great night for him, but the run game showed up. And the defense, there is one glaring weakness. It's against the pass. They've really shored things up against the run.
That's helpful when you're playing Zach Wilson.
Well, and I was going to say, and honestly, when you're playing against Bajent and Wilson in consecutive weeks, yeah, you're going to win football games shutting down the run and putting the game in Bajent and Wilson's hands.
It's also not a coincidence at all that this Chargers offense has looked so much better since Austin Eckler's been fully back. That first week after his injury, he wasn't really Austin Eckler yet. The second week, same thing. The last 2 weeks, he's been full Austin Eckler. And you've seen it in how many touches he's gotten in these games. 2 weeks ago, in the passing game, he was the leading receiver.
Yeah.
This week, in the run game, he was awesome. 2 touchdowns on the ground last night. So fantasy football owners, rejoice. You didn't waste your first round pick. He's going to be here for the second half of the season push, which I needed desperately. And riddle me this, guys. Tell me if this makes sense. So in our fantasy league, I'm doing really well. First place. In my friend group fantasy league, I'm in dead last. Have been the whole season.
Right.
My first 2 picks were Austin Eckler and Travis Kelce. This week, somehow, I have the highest total points of anyone the entire season in a single week scored. I put up 180 points. Now, CJ Stroud and Austin Eckler were big parts of that.
This is boring the snot out of me.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Right now.
Wait, hang on. Zach Wilson got.
I needed to be called on that.
Who gives a flying? You know what? What about Zach Wilson? He gets sacked 8 times, and again, common refrain when a quarterback gets sacked a lot is whose fault is it? Is the offensive line or is it the quarterback? Well, Daniel Jones gets sacked like 30 plus times. He hurts his neck. He leaves for the Giants. And when the Giants replaced him with Tyrod Taylor, the offense looked better. I don't know if it was all Daniel Jones' fault because also the Giants offensive line got a little healthier. They played a little bit better with Tyrod Taylor back there. And I think they were probably called to action a little bit or called out by their team because they got their starter hurt. Well, so there was a little bit of a turnaround in New York switching at the quarterback. And so you do have to place some of the blame on Daniel Jones. In the other New York team with Zach Wilson, I don't really know who they turn to because Aaron Rodgers is hurt. Zach Wilson isn't performing well. Who's their third string quarterback? I mean, is it time for them to switch it up? Can they switch it up?
Unfortunately, they don't have Mike White anymore. So this actually became a really popular question in postgame. Robert Saleh was asked about it, but Zach Wilson, 3.76 seconds holding onto the football. And Saleh was asked whether or not Zach was trying to not throw interceptions, and that's why he was holding onto the ball so long, and that's why he was sacked 8 times by the Chargers defense. This is what Saleh had to say. The New York media is saying that long pause before he said, "I don't have an answer to you," is him saying, "You're 100% right."
Yeah, well, you know what? I was talking to who was it? Oh, I remember this weekend. It was Mark Sanchez. So Mark Sanchez was talking about
but fumble.
Yeah, well, Mark Sanchez was pretty good at getting the football out of his hands. Other than that play, because he didn't have a ton of interceptions, and he led the Jets teams that he's played for to AFC championship games in consecutive years. Like Mark Sanchez was a winner with the Jets during that window. And you could say he was an operator. He was a game manager. You could use all those words against him. Well, Joe Flacco was too. It netted him a Super Bowl. You know, you could say that about a couple of different quarterbacks over the course of the years. Alex Smith won a lot of games with the Chiefs. People called him a game manager. You can win a lot of games with a guy who's careful with the football and gets rid of it at the right time. So Zach Wilson, the problem is it feels like he still doesn't know where to go with the football. It feels like he's still just a little bit hesitant to let it rip because A, yeah, you could throw interceptions, but B, does he know who's getting the ball?
Yeah, and even the hesitancy on letting it rip, you can see it as he drops back. I mean, right before the throw, there's always one little pause, and it's almost every single time. And almost every single time the ball is late getting to the receiver, which allows them to either A, not catch the ball, or B, just get hammered and drop the ball.
Is it time for Tim Boyle in New York?
Oh boy.
Is it time for Timmy Boyle?
I mean, I said it jokingly, but it is kind of a bummer they don't have Mike White anymore.
Well,
he came in last year and provided some real juice.
Well, backup quarterbacks can do that. And I think that's the unfortunate reality for Zach Wilson right now is he's fighting this narrative that Josh Dobbs gets 0 snaps with the first team offense. And he goes out there for the Minnesota Vikings and he wins.
He's exciting.
An insane game on the road in Atlanta with days notice on this game plan. I mean, he was legitimately learning names in the huddle. He was legitimately giving his cadence for the first time with the first team offensive line on the sideline. Like, if he can do that, why, after 2 seasons, or I should say a season and a half to be fair, can't Zach Wilson play quarterback for the New York Jets? It's a question that
Does he get benched?
Well, see, that's where I think this is heading. I think Robert Saleh, you just heard that long pause. They're going to go and review
I don't
this
have
film.
an answer for you.
To what?
That's what Saleh said. I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have an answer. You know what the answer is? I mean, Zach Wilson kind of sucks. that's the answer. And that's why he doesn't have an answer for you.
It's so hard. Do you remember the amount of hype that was behind Zach Wilson in the pre-draft process? Like, a couple videos went viral of him launching the ball down the field on the run. And it's like, oh my God, this guy's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes. And people were so stoked on him. And he's been nothing.
Well, if
he didn't have a hot mom coming to these games,
I'm telling you, that's part of it.
He got drafted by the Jets, who are like a quarterback. I don't know. It's like being drafted by the Chicago Bears.
They also ruined Sam Darnold.
Yeah, like it's whatever you call it. It's just a death machine for your career going to certain teams at the quarterback position. It has been for a long time for certain franchises. The New York Jets, no question, are one of them.
Well, our San Diego State University Aztecs basketball team had the game home opener, season opener last night. And
banner-raising night, baby.
And a banner raising, and everyone in the crowd got a replica ring from their Final Four run.
That's sweet.
Yeah, super cool. But they took down the Cal State Fullerton Titans, eked out a win, 83-57. Fletch did try to jinx the team in the first half after calling out the Aztecs when their 17-0 run to start the game. You texted us and said, you got to flip over. You got to watch this game. This place may blow up. It's so exciting. And then all of a sudden the Titans leaned on the gas pedal and got back into it.
I was never worried.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good.
The atmosphere at Viejas last night was incredible. Being outside as the fans were walking in, they lined up an hour and a half before the game, completely sold out crowd. Electric.
Nice.
Awesome.
Monday Night Football, we've been talking about it. Chargers improved to 4-4 with a 27-6 victory over the Jets. But the story for me was after the game, the post-game little talk with Aaron Rodgers, who was seen throwing the football around before the game. He was asked, hey, when are you coming back? And he said, give me a few weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah, he talked to one of the Chargers players on the field. I think it was Derwin James.
Derwin
James asked him. He was like, hey, when you coming back, Aaron? He's like, give me a few weeks.
A few weeks?
I don't buy it. We'll talk to Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow at 8:30.
That's a nice thing to say, right? Give me a few weeks, because he's going to need several weeks to make it happen. However, out in New York, they got to be thinking, yeah, a few weeks isn't soon enough. Can you go play on one leg?
What's crazy is, as bad as the Jets have looked at time, and last night's an example of how bad they look, they're also a 500 football team. Like, they're
same record as the Chargers.
Yeah, they're not out of this, not by a stretch. And again, narratives change very quickly in the NFL, day to day, week to week. All of a sudden you may think like a team, well, they stink because they lost on Monday Night Football, or they're great because they won on Monday Night Football. But the truth is somewhere in between.
Okay. Try.
Let's just try some sponge candy straight from Buffalo.
Right,
WatsonsChocolates.com. If you want to order one of these boxes, which, I mean, this would be a nice little Christmas present.
I agree, and it's got the dark green, the little the
fancy.
Gold. Yeah,
it's
a fancy looking box.
Forest green.
Yeah,
That's actually one of our wedding colors.
Maybe a hunter green.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nicely packaged. As we open the box, they're
wow.
They're all like vacuum sealed in here.
Yeah.
You guys want milk or dark? Oh, jeez.
Oh, you got to get out a knife. Yeah. Oh,
just use your teeth. You do not have a knife.
It's in my car.
I really thought he was about to pull out a switchblade.
Yeah,
a switchblade.
Those are illegal
knife,
in all 50 states.
Yeah. So are plastic straws. Apparently, I posted a picture about plastic straws, and I got a lot of hate.
I saw that. we do have a local story that is exciting. The San Diego State Aztecs basketball team is ranked 17th in the nation. This was a big win over a team that has a lot of talented transfers. Fullerton should not be looked past as just like some warm-up game.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, they're good. And the Aztecs, well, geez, here we go.
You want a dark or a milky?
I'm going to have a Watson's chocolate. There we go. That's a dark one. That's
dark. Let me bring it into
That's all right. I'll come in during the commercial break.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, I'll grab a milk chocolate.
Rich, watching the team last night, and I want the reaction. Is it soft or is it crunchy?
That was bizarre. It's delicious.
Oh, it's crunchy. Is it almost like honeycomb?
No, nothing like honeycomb. Get in here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try one of these. So the way I would describe it is like almost like if you took the inside of a normal chocolate and you freeze dried it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hang on.
I got no problem with sponge candy.
I have no problem with it.
They're doing things fine out there in Buffalo.
Here, you guys want ASMR?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sounds like we're biting through styrofoam.
It kind of looks like styrofoam.
Oh, damn, that's good.
Right?
It's delicious. I don't know.
Wow.
I've never had anything quite like it.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean,
okay.
How do we never know about this?
How have I never ever heard of this? Sponge candy out in Buffalo. WatsonsChocolates.com. Thank you very much for sending that to us. Very, very nice.
So Jaden Ledee, 6 of his career high 27 points were in the first 3 minutes of the second half. And they kind of needed some offense at that point because coming out of halftime, this is a close game. And he went off. I mean, he had the night of his career. This was a fun watch. Like you said, the environment at Viejas. This sets up well because this could be a really exciting season for the Aztecs. But I do always caution a little bit of hesitance. Like opening night, banner raising night, like you have everything going for you a real test on the road coming up at BYU.
Oh, huge this Friday. And BYU is always a tough place to play. And look, the Aztecs have one of the hardest non-conference schedules in the entire country.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest ones they've ever scheduled. Like, this is going to be brutal heading up into the regular season. But what I saw from last night's team is that they're going to be a better offensive team than last season, which is kind of crazy to say. They're going to be significantly worse on the defensive side of the basketball because of the lacking of Nathan Mensah. And when you take away someone like that, who is all defense at Mountain West every single year he was here, it's really tough to replace that rim blocking presence and the amount of mistakes you can make with Nathan Mensah on the floor that he can make up for. They're going to miss that this year. Now, Jaden Ledee coming out and having the offense that he had, 27 points in that game, and it looked easy to him.
Yeah. Like
when 27 looks like it's a nothing to him, that's scary.
And he was good at the line. You know what I mean?
And that's where he did most of his damage.
Yeah, 10 of 15 for the free throws. It was a fun night to watch. So Aztecs are back. They're doing special things already at Viejas Arena. Looking forward to supporting them throughout the year because, again, after a Final Four run, after a national championship berth, this team deserves our attention. And frankly, I think they deserve more of the national attention. I think 17's low considering
15 in the coaches poll.
Yeah, well, so more respect there. Thank goodness for
and
that.
They already jumped up 5 spots in KenPom, like based on the win last night.
Yeah.
So this happens every single year with that.
No, I know.
Usually
just
they don't
bugs me.
even start out ranked in the AP poll and they have to fight their way in.
It just bugs me. I don't understand why it gets like this every offseason. It's like they make a tournament. And then everybody assumes because they lose a little talent, oh, wow, they're a mid-major, so they're going to fall off the map. It's like, no, I mean, if we've learned anything from Coach Fisher, from Coach Dutcher over the years, they find a way to reload. And so it is what it is. But yeah, they will get the attention and the rankings that they deserve here, especially if they find a way to win on the road on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how much they win by. Just win against the Cougars on the road Friday. Okay, plenty more to come up.
Wilson's mom might be there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wait, yeah.
When I said Cougar, I was not
okay.
specifically talking about Zach Wilson's mom.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was talking about the BYU Cougars.
Oh, okay.
But she could also be there too. By the way, Zach Wilson could be there.
Yeah, he might, especially if he gets benched. That's a crazy environment too, though. The BYU Stadium, I think it's the Marriott Center, holds like 25,000 people. It's huge. It's an NBA arena.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a lively atmosphere. It always is in Utah. All right, coming up next, the Aztecs aren't the only thing back. There's another person in the NFL who's making his return this week. We think that's next. Hey guys, it is Rich here with SDFatLoss.com. Okay, so this show, we had a little bit of a weight problem. Okay, we were we had a big weight problem, like a very large. We were super fat. Okay, let's just cut through all the BS. We were super fat people, and we're looking to become less fat. So we tried on our own to do something we called next level fit guy stuff. Mm-hmm. That didn't work.
Thick ass boys.
Yeah, we are some thick ass boys. That didn't work at all, as a matter of fact. What it took was calling up Wayne and Chloe, our weight loss team at SDFatLoss.com. We got to meet them through this process with our free consultation. And you can too, 858-665-3211. Let me explain why we called them up. First and foremost, you have that sluggishness that's attached to overeating, right? Well, when you do that every day, you feel kind of, I don't know, like you're carrying around a bunch of bags that you don't need, right? You want to sort of unload that and live the life you want to live, but it's really hard to know where to start and how to do it all. And so with a little bit of guidance from experts and honestly, a little bit of determination on our behalf, we've lost over 110 pounds as a show. Okay. Ben Fletcher doesn't look like the same human being anymore. He looks like a child with a beard. He's lost so much weight. It's incredible. And I mean that in the best way possible. Travis Dale, we talked about this. His neck, it looked like a spare tire. Okay. and now it doesn't.
I feel like you're being mean nice right now.
Okay, hang on. And then myself,
It looked like a full-size spare tire. Now it's just like one of those smaller spare tires.
I looked like an overfilled bag of leaves.
You look like the Michelin Man.
That somebody has now dumped out. So yeah, there's some spots where the leaves have poked out a little bit. There's some stretch marks. That's fine. But you know what?
It's
Honestly,
endearing.
we've lost
Provocative.
we've lost a tremendous amount of weight. I mean, look at some of the before and afters on our Instagram. Like, we post all the time, or on our TikTok, on our social media. We post all the time. If you go back 3 months ago and you look at the fatty boom baddies who are talking to you, and then you look at us now, it is a stark difference. And that could be you as well. So sdfatloss.com, if you're interested in losing some weight, they take it seriously, and so did we, and we really benefited from it. So sdfatloss.com, 858-665-3211.
Is one player coming back just in time to screw everything up? We'll explain next.
This update is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We will begin locally with San Diego State basketball. They are fresh off their national championship run from March, and the boys open up their 23-24 season with a bang against Cal State Fullerton. Aztecs win it last night, 83-57. Jaden Ledee pouring in a career-high 27 points. Micah Parrish hits a career-high 5 3-pointers in the win. Next up for the Aztecs, they're traveling to Provo, Utah. They got BYU this Friday night. In the NFL, Chargers win big last night on Monday Night Football, 27-6 over the Jets. Austin Eckler, big game. He had a couple of rushing touchdowns in the win for the Bolts. And 3 different MLB teams have hired their next manager. The Padres, not one of them. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Bigger City and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760 coming up this Thursday. It's the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station Give-a-thon. We're going to be broadcasting live from Freedom Station number 2, and I don't think I have the copy in front of me, but hang on, wait for it. No, but we'll be broadcasting live. Very, very special event because look, this is to raise money to help our ill and injured troops, our warriors, also to send them home for the holidays. But it's a day we get to say thank you to our local warriors by raising money to sell. Like I said, send ill and injured service members home for the holidays. We need your help. Be listening to our special programming all day long. It's brought to you in part by Unicorn Jewelry and Watch Boutique, West Automotive Group, and MSE Landscape.
I want to give a round of applause really quick to Fletch.
Right?
Why?
Because Fletch is entering the hardest part of the year.
That's very true.
And
it's the best part of the year.
Well, let's admit it. You also have to kind of batten down the hatches from here until about Valentine's Day.
Well, I had the conversation with Kendall. I said, look, I love you and I'll miss you, but I'm not going to see you for the next 3 weeks because this is crossover season. Potentially 4 weeks if the Aztecs football team wins their next 3 games. So this is the time of year where John Schaefer and myself, we say goodbye to our families. He tells Jones that, you'll see dad in a little bit. But this is why I got into this job, is for college football, college basketball. The season when it ramps up, when it gets going crazy, the NFL's still going. This is the best time of year. I don't need sleep.
Yeah.
Well, sort of.
Ben didn't sleep last night.
Not even a little bit.
Because you did literally 5 minutes ago say, I don't know how you guys do it. I'll get text messages from you guys at like 10:30 at night. I need to sleep.
This body doesn't run well on no sleep.
Yeah.
I did ask if you were depressed because you seemed a little bummed.
No,
and you're like,
just
no, I'm
sunken
tired.
eyes.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. What the reason why Travis and I are able to do it is TD's got 3 kids. I have 2. And you have a Brock. You have a puppy dog.
That's right.
He's the goodest boy.
He'll train you.
I was ready to murder him last night.
Yeah. I'm guessing he kept you awake too.
All night.
Yeah. Wait till you have these kids.
Yeah.
Like these kids prove to you, like, oh yeah, no, you can operate for 48 hours without sleeping a wink. As it turns out, you won't die, but you want to. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
our first child would not sleep at night unless he was in the car.
Oh God.
So we would drive around and take turns sleeping in the passenger seat.
It is brutal.
I mean, I loved it.
Rearing children is one of the most maddening experience of your life.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, don't need to do it.
Well, turns out big congratulations in order because Kendall, I don't know how far along.
Is she preggers?
Last time you D-bags did this, I got tweets from people being like, congratulations to you and Kendall. Oh my God, can't wait for baby Fletch.
Conception is a special time. And we're aware based on, really video footage evidence from the iHeart property, which congrats to you, Ben. No, look, the reality is Ben is going to be a little sleepy some mornings, and we just want,
it's fine.
We just want to thank you for your efforts last night. It was a lot of fun.
Monster.
Yeah, we're watching that happen right now. It's fine. It's fine.
Are you okay, TD? I'm sorry.
Yeah, as you drink it, I'm like,
I didn't mean to do this right in front of you.
It has so
it's
much.
kind of like how Rich does that radio show on Saturday mornings right in front of us.
I do. It's
Yeah,
right in front of you guys.
happen.
It's what I do. I apologize.
you know what happens this Friday?
What happens?
Veterans Day.
Oh yeah.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3
Oh,
comes
Kyler
out.
Murray is
Yeah.
screwed.
Okay.
Well, he's supposed to come back.
Wait,
maybe
did anybody tell the Cardinals front office that he's available? Because weren't they trying to suck this season?
right?
Okay, so wait, can we look back to, was it a year ago that story came out about Kyler Murray's Call of Duty usage?
Mhm.
And they had like the hours he was streaming live or something. And then it
Mhm.
actually got like built into his contract as an addendum that he has to spend X amount of time watching film.
Yes.
And that can't be while he's simultaneously streaming Call of Duty.
Also, yes.
Okay, so when that came out,
Yes.
Rich, you like to ask the question, why are stories coming out? Why are things leaking? It was a slam piece on Kyler Murray, right?
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
you could look at the record though at the start of the season until the Call of Duty drop.
The evidence was damning.
Yeah. So every season it gets real bad.
What's so crazy is, and by the way, we're there. So I mean, this is the part of the season where he really bans down the hatches and plays a ton of COD. And so he's going to be on the sticks every single night. He's going to be fighting for his team in free-for-alls, you know?
Screaming at 10-year-old children across the world.
That's right.
Twitching and live streaming. He's
Good.
going to be doing it all. Yeah.
Staying up
Blake
all
Snell
night.
does that too. Blake Snell's about to win a Cy Young Award. So
That's a good point.
You can balance. Everything in life is balance.
Do you guys really think the Cardinals, with Kyler Murray, they're going to look much different?
No.
Because
Depends
again,
on what Kyler Murray we get. And that's what Dr. David Chow was saying last week, right? He was like, he can come back, but he's going to be a pocket passer. Well, that's not Kyler Murray. That's not what makes him special.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But eventually, with all of these mobile quarterbacks, age will catch up to you. You will slow down. So at some point, you would have to become a proficient pocket passer. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Kyler Murray, I don't think is there in his career. I think that being elusive, being able to make a play out of nothing is what makes him special. But if you're going to restrict that right now in his career, I don't see this being a different Cardinals team.
I think if he's not 100%, I'm not putting him out there if I'm the Cardinals. So
I agree.
I have to imagine he is ready and raring to go for two reasons. One, this team stinks, and you kind of want them to keep stinking to have high draft capital going into next season. I mean, that's the whole reason why you traded away or cut Colt McCoy to start the season and started Josh Dobbs. And then, by the way, traded him away as soon as he had any success at this level. So you bring in Kyler Murray. The only reason to have him go out there and play at all, if he plays well, it just makes his trade stock higher. So maybe you can unload his quarterback to a team that's quarterback needy, his contract to a team that's quarterback needy, and then you can move on from him, move on to maybe, I don't know if he wants to go there, but Caleb Williams, one of these other quarterbacks who's highly touted out of this year's draft, and start over, because they missed the window with Kyler Murray. I mean, that's plain facts. That's what it is.
Yeah, it just seems crazy because of all the hype around Kyler Murray, all of the eggs that they were putting in the basket with Kyler Murray, and then now to go, we're done.
Yeah,
we'll just start over.
Okay, another reason you guys are jerks.
Okay,
what happened?
Queen of the North Carolina. At Big Rich TD Fletch, I came in at the wrong time. Is there baby news?
What?
No, Carolyn, there's no baby news.
We don't know, Carolyn.
TD is just a jerk.
He doesn't give us all of the information.
Yeah, we ask for details, especially when it's related to conception, and he gives us none.
And then Diana, also on X, says, at Fletch Sports, people keep confirming that not having kids is the best decision I've ever made. So, I mean, it's something to think about for sure. Like, would you rather have kids, or would you rather go on a really nice vacation once a year?
Well,
I mean, some people do both.
Oh, I'm not bringing kids on any vacation.
Oh, no.
I didn't say bring them. I didn't say that.
That is not a vacation.
Yeah.
Dropped off.
There's no such thing as a vacation with children. You're just going to a different place and ruining everyone else's time.
On our honeymoon, we went to an all adults, all inclusive place, and that was awesome.
You did.
This last summer, we went to a place that allowed kids.
Only.
I spent the entire time wanting to punt every kid I saw into the ocean.
Sounds like
and
you're
let
gonna be a
them
good
get
dad.
eaten by sharks.
Sounds like you're gonna be a
You
good
guys
dad.
see daycare. I see shark food.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were a child once too, Ben Fletcher.
And I can't believe my parents took me anywhere.
What?
They should have left me at home.
Were you a bad child?
I mean, I wasn't good.
This is the problem with modern society, the destruction of the nuclear
Right.
family. Gosh, it's all happening in front of our eyes. Get used to it, America. This is what your future looks like. I hope you're happy.
This is your fault, boomers.
Yeah. So, are you confirming then?
We do not have any child in
okay.
the oven
Okay.
or
Oh,
elsewhere.
We were concerned and curious.
Yes.
And so
No
you
baby
just,
Fletch.
Because we have not talked about that in 12 to 16 hours.
yeah. So we will ask you again probably 6 p.m. tonight. Okay.
Correct.
Coming up next, we got to get into viewership spikes with primetime. Something worked in a big way. But first, I want to talk to you about this NBA season. It's here, and there's no easier way to get in on the action than Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Fantasy, but you can win real money. So the pick'em game is so simple. You just pick between 2 and 5 players, select whether they go higher or lower on their stats, then just watch the games. Legal in California, ton of fun to play along as you watch your team. Okay, I get direct messages from a bunch of our listeners, but especially Bob, one of the guys who listens to the show all the time. He signed up with the promo code, and I'll give that to you in a second. So he cashed out there, but then all of a sudden he started winning these pick'em games in mass. He's almost up to $1,000 in his account. He's like, are you winning too? I'm like, not like you, Bob. It's absolutely incredible, but it's the best way to watch sports. Every single time I turn on a game, last night, Jets Chargers, Monday Night Football, I had my Underdog pick'em going, and so should you. Build your dream team today. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code XTRA, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, new customers will have the mystery special pick live in their pick'em lobby. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code XTRA. Get your first deposit of $10 or more, doubled up to $100 plus that special pick in your pick'em lobby. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Coming up next, it works. It really works. That's next. Interesting stuff, right? You know,
Enthusiasm.
Ben the Enthusiasm Fletcher, make your way to the main stage. Gentlemen, pop your collars and drop your dollars. The Enthusiasm is shaking with his mama gave him. Anyways, look.
So my stripper name is Enthusiasm.
I actually,
The Enthusiasm.
I love the fact that it has the in front of it.
Yes, exactly.
The Enthusiasm.
Text line 70470. Start your message with team. What would TD's stripper name be?
Yeah,
What
actually,
would Big Rich's stripper name be? Other than Big Rich.
damn it. That one's a little bit on the nose, isn't it?
Right.
Shoot.
Tony
Yeah.
Conja, by the way, Cake and Bottle 10 locations all throughout San Diego County. At the gym currently, texting Ben Fletcher saying that kids are the best. He only had 3. Wish he had 6.
So here's the deal. I know Tony Conja's listening. You know we love Tony Conja. If any of us sent our location of us at the gym,
Yeah.
we would relentlessly roast that person.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh, you
yeah.
know what?
Like
now,
if
does
you-
Tony get a pass? He's part of the show. He's part of the family.
I mean, we know I did that. He wants you to know that he's at the
That
gym.
is
Exactly.
absolutely
This was
correct. Yes,
no
this-
accident.
yeah.
Unless he was trying to say, like, okay, so unless he has like a secret microphone in here and he accidentally sent us the location of the gym, but he's next to a Chick-fil-A, because we will be eating the ghost pepper and a honey chicken pimento sandwich after this show.
Oh, that was a pocket text.
Oh.
Yeah, right, Tony.
Oh, it was a pocket text. I accidentally sent you my location while I was at the gym.
Yeah, we are now in the maintenance phase on SD Fat Loss. So
Mhm.
we
80-20, baby.
we're allowed to enjoy 20% of what we eat, and then we're back to 80% of the healthy stuff. So our 20% today is going to be a Chick-fil-A pimento and cheese honey spicy sandwich.
I mean, if we were looking calorie wise, that may be 20% for the week.
right. Could you not tell Chloe or Wayne that what you
Yeah.
just said?
Don't
Because
want-
I
don't
would
say a
appreciate
word.
that
Don't say
greatly.
a word. To ourselves.
Or the narc. We know you're listening.
That's right. That's
Um,
right. We do know.
Okay. So Amazon apparently made a good decision.
Yeah.
Some would argue a great decision. They spent $11 billion about a year and a half ago. What they spent $11 billion on was one single game a week for 17 weeks of the NFL season, or I should say 18 weeks of the NFL season. That one game is worth $1 billion
No, you're right. It is
a year.
17 because they don't get the first one.
Oh, they don't?
Oh, yeah.
You're absolutely right. It is 17 weeks. So they spent a lot of dough, okay?
For 10 years.
For 11.
Oh,
For,
11,
$11 billion over 11.
Okay.
So they spent all that dough, and they're being rewarded for it because apparently their streaming and their subscription rates have skyrocketed.
Yeah. So Thursday night football numbers are up 25% than they were the previous year, and even more than that over the previous year.
Yeah.
So it's working. People are going to Prime not only to watch the game, but more people are now viewing the NFL. In fact, overall viewership is up 6%.
What's interesting though is, and I will say this: every network who wants to brag is going to tout their numbers early this season, and then some of this is going to go away. And here's the reason why: the Taylor Swift effect.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
You're so right.
Amazon is no dummies. They had a Thursday night game with Taylor Swift, and if you want to tout good numbers, do it now while you still can.
Yeah.
All right, shareholders, check this out. Look at her numbers year over year.
And
Do we have another cheesecake?
Look at the demographic that we're bleeding into. Now we got the teenage women. Who has daddy's Amazon account? Teenage girls.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but how much you want to bet that if there is a Philly game on a Thursday night? Because I wouldn't put it past Amazon cutting a check to Taylor Swift just to show up at the game with her boyfriend to watch her boyfriend's brother play.
I want to rewind the clock back to, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where Donna Kelsey appeared on the Today Show and she was talking about Taylor Swift. Now, the audio, we don't have it available for you right now, but I'll paraphrase for Donna Kelsey. She was nice. It was good when she met her.
Right.
She didn't sound all that convinced that she really loves the idea of her son dating Taylor Swift.
No,
or
but
that she actually loves Travis Kelce.
So you know what?
I don't know.
No. So you know what I think that was? I think she didn't know how to answer some of the questions, and she didn't want to trap herself in something that she has already met Taylor Swift. That was not the first meeting. There has been time prior to this that led up to them dating. She was trying to cover it up and didn't want to ever really answer a question, because if she answered it just slightly wrong, people would go, well, wait a minute. You said this was the first time you met Taylor Swift. Oh, no, you guys met 2 months ago when she stopped by your house.
You know what?
This is why we keep him around.
Yeah, that's really astute. Normally, we're sending you on laps.
True.
But you've earned your chair.
What?
Way to go.
Just
at the 6 o'clock hour. I'll screw it up.
I don't know, man. You called Watson's Chocolates 2 weeks ago, and now we have sponge candy.
Yeah,
so
we do.
Things are looking up TD.
858 TD stripper name Thunder Chunk.
That's a great stripper name too.
I mean, Rich, the bottomless hole.
Wow. I don't know how I feel about that.
Speaking of bottomless hole.
Oh God.
Oh
no,
Jesus.
maybe
Where
not.
does this segue
Stop.
to?
On Twitter, somebody said, Rich, can you shotgun a can of soup?
We have 2 social media videos we need to perform today. And the answer is yes. That's absolutely happening.
It does need to be a really big hole to get all the noodles out.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, maybe we'll get the chicken and stars. We'll have the
that's good. That's
tiny
a good
little
idea.
star pasta.
Yeah, that's
what
a
about
great
just
idea.
Chef Boyardee?
Oh, gross.
Yeah, but it's not gonna
You mean
flow.
SpaghettiOs?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Shotgunning SpaghettiOs. That sounds like the name of a punk rock band.
Shotgun SpaghettiOs? We should start a band. We need a band, by the way, that can play only Creed songs.
Yeah.
With arms wide open.
Yeah, we need you to
I think
set
we
up
got
in the
it.
lobby here.
You can play like screamo guitar, can't you?
Yeah, but I don't have a whole band.
Yeah, we're gonna need a whole band. Maybe we'll hire Chris Boyer on the drums.
Right.
Get him going on the kick drum. And while he's on the kick drum, I hope he's wearing arch supports from the Good Feet store. And here's why. If you're logging miles, serious miles, or if you're just on your feet a bunch, or if you're taking the kids for walks or going golfing or going to a theme park or, whatever it is you're doing on your feet all day long, whatever footwear you use, whether you're a work from home and you got the slippers on, or you're on the roof and you're laying down shingle and you got your work boots on all day long, it doesn't matter. These arch supports are for you. And here's the reason why they work. So your feet are the foundation of the rest of your body. If your feet aren't properly supported, well, your ankles are going to start to go. Your knees are going to get wonky. The hips start to suffer. Your back is going to hurt. That's really where I jumped onto the Good Feet store. I had back pain from the time I finished my NFL career up until I started using these arch supports. And it really just began to melt away after 1 week of wearing the arch supports. Well, now over a year of wearing these arch supports, I am living testament to, if you stick to it, you're going to see the results. So if you're like me and you have lower body joint pain and you want to get through it, the Good Feet store is for you. Check them out at goodfeet.com. You could go to any of their 200 plus locations around the United States and overseas. And they've got 30 years of experience. So these are trusted professionals. Good Feet store. Okay, coming up next, we are officially at the halfway point. That makes me sad. The halfway point of the NFL season. However, this means we get to give out our midterm superlatives. We're going to do it coming up next on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
It's hour 2 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We're going to start off here locally with Aztecs men's basketball. Fresh off their national championship run from March, the boys open up their 23-24 season with a bang against Cal State Fullerton. Aztecs win last night 83-57. Jaden Ledee pouring in 27 points. That's a career high. Micah Parrish, 5 3-pointers. That's a career high. Next up for the Aztecs, they got BYU in Provo, Utah this Friday night. Over in the NFL, Chargers win big last night on Monday Night Football, 27-6 over the Jets. Austin Eckler, big game, 2 rushing touchdowns in the win. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Yeah! Woo! Welcome to the show. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on a very happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big day yesterday for the Aztecs. I should say big night. They get a huge win over Cal State Fullerton, 83-57. Now that's a way to start your season. We also have Monday Night Football last night. The Jets were down by the Chargers. That was a blowout victory for the Chargers. And we also have requested something of our texters. People who listen to this show,
They're coming through.
The hangers, the bangers, the road dogs. We've been
there's a lot for me.
We've been asking for stripper names. We dubbed Ben Fletcher, Ben the Enthusiasm Fletcher.
Because there's a lot of movement.
There is a lot of movement. This guy is enthusiastic. But then we said, well, what about me and TD? And, is there maybe Ben, maybe you could come up with a different nickname for Fletch, a stripper name for Fletch. Well, we asked him and our texters have answered.
913 TD stripper name, lizard costume wearing long dog.
Wow. That is
TD
very
stripper name, Bronco necking you, not to be confused with Bronco New Jersey.
Jesus. This is really sick. I wish we hadn't done this.
I also like it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine TD just instead of lap dances, he just gives necks? He's just necking you.
I'd make so much money.
I'm just thinking about the friction burns. It's like there's so much stubble, it hurts. It's like a fine grit sandpaper.
It's fine. It's fine. It's probably.
Was this a 120 grit?
Yeah, no, it's probably like a 40.
Even worse. All right. So we will continue to read off the good ones, or the ones that are airable, I guess I'll say.
Right.
But we did mention before we ran there a second ago, we do have midterm in the NFL season. We're officially at the halfway point, gentlemen. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like
that means
that.
fantasy playoff or fantasy football playoffs are just like 5 weeks away.
Yeah. So batten down the hatches. If you got a fantasy team that needs some significant work here, start submitting your trade requests today.
We don't even have stepmom this week.
We don't have stepmom. Do we? Oh no, we don't. Not for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, we're gonna have to find a Band-Aid, a replacement for a couple of weeks.
Well, this week we're going to be at the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station broadcasting live, so we'll have something to take our minds off of it, which is good. The following week we're screwed.
The following week is Thanksgiving, isn't it?
I don't think it's the second Thursday of the month.
Oh, you're right. It's the one after that.
It'll be the 4th. Keep going.
No. Next Thursday's the 16th. The following one's the 23rd. That's Thanksgiving.
Wait a second. Are we already? We are.
Week
We're
in?
at the second Thursday of Thanksgiving
Oh
already.
my God, we are. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
temper my enthusiasm. Necking you.
The enthusiasm.
All right.
So I want turkey.
We need to do some of these midseason superlatives. So let's do it. All right. I guess we'll lead it off focusing on the offensive side of the football. So if you were going to say, at this point in the season, the most productive offense most likely to implode this season, the answer would be
the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It does kind of feel like you're not completely convinced only because of what you saw last season,
When
right?
they play good defenses, they struggle.
Okay, so you're going to say the Miami Dolphins. What about you, TD?
You know what? I mean, I guess if we're looking at top offenses, and I'm not talking about a top team here, but one offense that seems to be able to make it happen are the Colts.
Okay.
And I could see the Colts just completely imploding. I mean, mostly because I thought they would implode at the start of the season. So why not at the halfway point?
All right. Here's mine. And I'm not counting on it, but I could see it happening because some of the early stumbles. I'm still not a buyer on the Buffalo Bills.
Mhm.
Yeah. I just don't. They're Josh Allen, his discomfort in the pocket. It's getting later in the season now. Games get tougher. Games get closer. If there's an offense that I think right now they're in the top 5 in terms of yards per game and all the things that we know about the Buffalo Bills offense this season, I think they could regress a great deal here in the second half. All right. Let's move on from there.
No one said the Lions.
Nobody said the Lions.
Nobody said the
I
Lions.
got faith in the Lions. By the way, I think the Chargers have the Lions next. So
They do.
We'll see what this Chargers team is actually made up of because they're going to play a really good
And-
Chargers or Lions team.
And we'll see what the Lions are made
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, that's true because Chargers, look, I mean, you got to give credit to that defense, especially over the past 2 weeks. Maybe they figured something out. We'll find out. Okay, next up, bad team that is most likely to skyrocket in the second half of the season.
Ooh.
We're not focusing offense or defense. Team overall, team that's kind of scraping bottom that you could see maybe starting to soar.
Now, I would love to say the Bengals. However, they've already started to soar. But you
Yeah.
look at the record and you look at where they are in playoff seeding. If the season ended today, they wouldn't be in. So, I would love to say the Bengals, but after what we've seen the last 2 weeks, they're already on their way.
Yeah, I would say that. The Texans could be a team that all of a sudden gets it together. I mean, their quarterback is phenomenal. I mean, I think he's the next.
Kind of feel like he's due for a stinker, don't you?
Maybe.
Like a 2 or 3
maybe,
interception game.
maybe,
some
yeah.
really bad decisions.
But if, geez, I mean, the Vikings, I know they're sitting at 5-4, but for whatever reason, I feel like they're kind of a stinker team that all of a sudden has gotten things right. Justin Jefferson comes back, or the Bucks. God, there's so many teams.
Okay, this is the answer, I think. The Raiders.
Well, yeah, hey, there you go.
Okay, so the Raiders fire Josh McDaniels. They have a complete change in the culture with Antonio Pierce, their interim head coach. They have talent around that offense. Josh Jacobs, he can take over any game from the running backs position. Devontae Adams, one of the most talented receivers in the league. They trust Aiden O'Connell. That's a young guy, super inexperienced.
Max Crosby, game breaker.
That defense is playing good. I mean, they're playing exceedingly well.
Not to overuse the word enthusiasm, but there is an absurd amount of enthusiasm when you look at this Raiders team since Antonio Pierce has been hired as head coach. Devontae Adams was at some game last night. It was a basketball game. I don't know who it was, but the ref came up to him in the middle of the game and said, "Hey, you guys looked like you had a little juice yesterday. Like it was different."
Yeah.
And Devontae Adams was like, "It's going to be different all year."
I love that.
Wow. Did you? I saw yesterday, and I didn't see this on Sunday. When Mark Davis walked out onto the field, the crowd started chanting, "Thank you."
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Dean Spanos also gets something that ends in "U" when he walks out.
Right. It starts with a different letter.
word.
Completely different word. Okay, let's move on from that and go to this. Okay, the best team this season that's most likely to fall apart. So again, overall team, a team that you could see really just hitting the skids after starting strong.
Unfortunately, we've already said their name. It's the Detroit Lions.
You think so? Okay.
I was gonna. When you said that, I thought you were gonna say Bills.
No, I don't think the Bills have necessarily ballooned up to their full potential yet. So in order for them to fall off the earth, I think they need to get better first, which is weird to say. But the Detroit Lions, I feel like, have hit their peak already. And I hope it continues. They're fun to watch. I just don't know that I can trust them.
All right.
I'd probably say the Cowboys here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put the Baltimore Ravens on fraud alert.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Okay.
So I know
we did this 2 weeks ago.
I know everybody is high on the Ravens, and I know it's time to hop on the bandwagon and not off, but I do not trust that Lamar Jackson can stay healthy for a full season. I just don't. He's too fragile. And by the way, the later the season goes, more of a reliance on the run game, the more hits he's going to be taking. I think at some point, the Ravens' luck runs out with his health, and all of a sudden they start looking very ordinary like they do without Lamar Jackson. So it's really hinging on his health this entire season. This isn't going to be a San Francisco 49ers Brock Purdy situation where, Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance go down and all of a sudden they appear in an NFC championship game. If Lamar Jackson doesn't stay healthy, the Baltimore Ravens season is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised by that one. And I don't know that I see it. I think I really trust Baltimore right now.
You trust Lamar's health?
No, I do not. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's
I
tough.
agree with you. However, it was literally 2 weeks ago. I'm like, they're done. They're done.
All right.
Put some of that A1 steak sauce on them. Jam a fork in them.
They just need to play NFC teams for the rest of the year, and they'll be fine. Lamar's really good against the NFC.
That's true.
Rookie most likely to take
be
over
easy.
in the second half.
Ooh, rookie most likely. Well, we're starting to see the early signs of it. Jordan Addison with the Minnesota Vikings.
good.
Love him.
How do you not
Jahmyr
say
Gibbs.
CJ Stroud, though?
Yeah, CJ
He's
Stroud.
already taken over.
He's so good.
What? Has he taken over?
Jahmyr Gibbs with Detroit.
Yeah.
He got his opportunity the last couple of weeks with David Montgomery starting on TD's fantasy football team.
That's
Mhm.
true.
And
That's
Jahmyr
true.
Gibbs is really taken over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, if Arthur Smith starts giving him the football,
Well, the temperature's getting turned up on Arthur Smith because everybody's asking, why the hell did you draft him in the first round if you were never planning on using him? Could
Doesn't
somebody
make sense.
explain? Yeah. The math don't math,
How about-
Arthur.
how about
Come on, Artie.
How about Darius Davis?
Okay.
Charger.
Wow. That punt return. After the game, I love the quote that he gave. He was like, yeah, I'm a party starter. That's what I do. I go out
It
there
was.
and I start the party. And he did with an 80.
Thomas Morstead has had, in some ways, his best year at 37 years old. Drives Darius Davis back in a pretty good return. Goods turning to great. Darius Davis, he is gone. There are no flags on the field, and those are the first points on this Monday night.
When he got to about the 45-yard line, there was no one around him.
Yeah.
It
oh,
was
dude.
he was way gone.
He is one of those returners who, like, he makes one guy miss and you're like, okay, it's over.
Yep.
That was a foot race and he was winning it.
he's a speedy boy.
No question about it. All right, how about this? Most likely to win the AFC North, a crowded division,
Ooh.
all winning records right now. Who do we think is most likely to emerge from that division? Because all four right now could potentially be playoff
The
teams.
team in last place for me.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
I agree.
Who has the Cincinnati Bengals, by the way, in our Super Bowl?
That
it
is TD. Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
If you held a gun to my head right now and said, give me the Super Bowl team, I'm saying Cincinnati.
Wow.
Like the Super Bowl
Wow.
winner?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, the 49ers are still part of the National Football
for
League.
sure. And I hope and wish and pray that the Niners are the team, but I look at Cincinnati,
But they need a
especially
quarterback. I
the
agree.
way- oh, shut up.
What?
The way they played against the 49ers. I'm like, okay, well,
Jesus.
what has Joe Burrow been missing his entire career? An offensive line and a defense. Cincinnati kind of has both now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Cincy's defense is still somehow shockingly underrated. Like they are a problem. They cover well. They rush the passer well. What more can you? I mean, they stop the run relatively well. Not every game, but relatively well. The Bengals have a squad.
No, Cincy is so well rounded now.
I think I agree with you. I think if I'm going to pick a team today, just based on inertia and momentum, I'm going to say it's Cincinnati.
Yeah, we're in consensus here. A team that started out 1-3.
Yeah.
They've won 4 in a row now. Still sitting in last place, but they've won 4 in a row
No
now.
love for the Ravens.
Like I said, I have a hard time trusting Lamar Jackson's health.
Okay, put a caveat on it. Lamar Jackson starts every game the rest of the way.
Yeah, I could see the Ravens win the North then.
They got a 2-game head start on the Bengals.
Yep.
I would still go with the Bengals.
Wow. Yeah.
I think the Bengals are just a far better team all around.
Let me think. Yeah, I think I do agree with that. With a healthy Joe Burrow, I think the Bengals overall, but to Ben's point, when you lose early, it puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit. Can they catch the Ravens if Lamar Jackson stays healthy? Probably not, but don't put it past them. This is the hottest team in football right now.
Well, the Bengals play the Ravens Thursday, November 16th.
Huge game.
Taylor
Huge
Swift
game.
going to be there?
I do believe Taylor Swift,
Taylor Swift
is
yeah.
going to be there.
I believe so.
And
Why wouldn't she be?
And I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be coaching with the Ravens at that point because they're going to run him out of Ann Arbor.
Guys, it was such a good time out of Viejas Arena last night.
You me? You
did that to Rich on Friday. We sandwiched him right in between the
Oh,
parties.
yeah, we did do that. I forgot.
Both of my thighs were humped.
That was a precursor to stripper named Tuesday.
We did that.
But Viejas Arena last night was packed. It was a complete sellout for the first game of the 2023-2024 season. The boys showed up. Jaden Ledee, an easy 27 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double for him, a career high in points. I tell you, a name to watch for you guys, Elijah Saunders. He was a freshman last season. Sophomore year this year, he's lost about 25 pounds of fat and has gained about 10 in muscle. He is looking like he's going to be a problem for the San Diego State Aztecs. Lamont Butler coming off the shot. He had 8 points last night, ton of assists. Micah Parrish, 5 3-pointers. That's a career high for him, who's looking to be the outside threat for the Aztecs this season after losing Adam Seiko. Monday Night Football, Chargers win it big. Austin Eckler, a couple of rushing touchdowns for you fantasy owners out there. And Major League Baseball, 3 different managers were hired this week. Padres yet to name theirs. Crickets.
Well,
what is taking AJ Preller so long?
They are doing an exhaustive search. We were told that was going to happen.
Aren't you exhausted yet?
I am. I mean, this is stupid.
Look, this is a public relations move to get the spotlight completely off of baseball before they hand over what to many is going to be the bad news that Ryan Flaherty is the next manager of this team. Now, I don't know for sure that Flaherty is going to get the job.
I think I do.
But I believe he will. And I think AJ Preller, if he's shown us nothing else, the managers he hires, he likes to hire people that he knows he can control.
And people that he can't, he likes to run out of town.
Right.
While holding a pitchfork and a flaming torch.
Wow. Bob Melvin and him
calling Bob an ogre.
They didn't see eye to eye. And by the way, him and Andy Green, they started butting heads a little bit. Look, the whispers around the water cooler was at the end of Andy Green's tenure, he started bucking some of the trends and arguing some of the points about roster usage and player usage, and was trying to do what was best at times, or what he deemed was best at times for the franchise or for some of these players, and he was being overruled. And that's part of the reason why he had to skip town.
We're halfway through the NFL season. College football has been really, really impressive this year. College basketball starting up. I feel like there's so much positivity in sports. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Padres. But they have a pitching problem heading into next year.
Yeah, they do.
They extended qualifying offers to Blake Snell and Josh Hader. That means absolutely nothing because those two guys are both going to get long-term deals elsewhere. Nick Martinez declining his option. Seth Lugo declining his option. Like, they have a serious problem where they might have to replace 3/5 of their starting rotation from a year ago. Bad news.
Yeah, why do you got to be that way?
I'm sorry.
Why you got to be like that?
You want more superlatives?
What?
yeah. More NFL superlatives.
Defensive player of the year.
Let's do baseball team most likely to have a pitching staff implosion.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
Yu Darvish was bad this season and hurt. Joe Musgrove. Oh my God. We're just getting to this. Joe Musgrove led the I Believe That We Will Win chant
last
night. He was there.
Night. Yeah, he was at Viejas Arena. The stars
came
out. Yeah, it was cool, man. I'll tell you what, if there's one thing I really do appreciate about Joe Musgrove is I think, he's one of the hardest workers on that baseball team. That guy puts in the work. In fact, so much so that I kind of feel like somebody needs to rein him in a little bit. Like, let's stop dropping kettlebells on our feet and, killing our shoulder in the weight room.
It was underwater.
Yeah, it's just... We need you, Joe, is what I'm trying to say. And we need Java Joe.
He's probably going to be the ace next year.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to need you every game. Yeah. So
you are
figure out how to make that happen.
You are now the Caleb Williams of the Padres. Without you, we've got no shot.
There is a picture. I'll try to find it, but it's John Schaefer on courtside next to Teddy, and then Joe Musgrove like 2 rows back.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, John, you're so close to greatness. How does he smell?
And we are going to we're going to frame those. We're going to have those signed.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
And we're going to have limited prints available.
That's correct.
That's right.
Butler at thebuzzer.com, by the way.
Yeah, that's a very cool picture. So, yeah.
It's here in studio.
You want the Lamont Butler the shot photo from the huge win in the Final Four over the FAU Owls. There's only 205 of them available. They're super limited. He's going to number and sign each one. And so if you want to help out the name, image, and likeness fund through Aztecs Link, butleratthebuzzer.com is the website.
I talked about this a little bit yesterday on the pregame show, but with the butleratthebuzzer.com thing and the money that you're spending on it, like the price is steep, but you have to understand the bigger picture of what it is that money's going to.
Right.
And it's starting a culture here in San Diego that will allow you to keep guys like Lamont Butler, who you want to keep on the Mesa, who have done special things in an Aztecs jersey, and B, go to recruits and say, hey, look at the success of this. Look at what we did for Lamont Butler and the money we put in his pocket. And then future Aztecs are going to either commit to San Diego State or stay at San Diego State. It's all about keeping the talent here because we know how competitive NIL is going to get in a very quick hurry.
I'm not sure you have to look at the bigger picture. I'd say it looks fine.
Oh,
Probably
it's
16,
badass.
16 by 20.
It's a really cool photo.
Yeah.
All right. I love it.
Dad joke that didn't
I,
land.
I completely missed it.
Yeah, it's
I was,
fine.
I was
It's fine.
like,
It's fine.
I was like,
Do you need to
look-
take a lap? Are you sending yourself?
damn it.
Oh, bigger
Can I
picture.
send myself
I-
on
Oh,
the lap?
bigger
You
picture.
son of
He
a.
was like, what? Is this like a 20 by 16? All right. Hey,
Okay, I'll
everybody
take a
out there,
lap.
if you're looking for a world-class dentist, where all procedures are done in the same office with state-of-the-art technology, then look no further than my dentist, my doctor, Dr. Jordan Colby of Ocean View Dental. He can give you teeth in a day plus a winning smile. OceanViewDental.net is where I want you to start your research. That's what I did, right? I heard about Dr. Colby. I went to his website, OceanViewDental.net, and I became immediately interested in the fact that everything's done there. Like they have such advanced technology that you're getting your imaging, your scanning done there, your x-rays, the whole procedure plan. And whether you're having just a filling done, a teeth cleaning, or major work like I did, teeth extractions and implants, that's what I had to go through. And I was super nervous about this. And so I wasn't just going to pick anybody. I wanted to go with the trained professional who can explain to you exactly what's going to happen and also get you in and out of his office. I had other dentists telling me that all this work I needed done was going to take a year and a half. It took me a handful, not even a handful of months. It took me less than 3 months to have teeth extracted and new teeth put in. So if you are like me and you're searching for a new dentist and you want to go somewhere that has professionalism and the personal touch, Dr. Colby is the person to go see. His motto is no matter your situation, he can help you create a confident and healthy smile. Dr. Colby has built a world-class, family-oriented dental practice at Ocean View Dental. He also has one over in Fallbrook that provides excellent dental care, personal and professional attention that you and your family deserve. Latest advanced dental technology, including those digital x-rays I was talking about, 3D CT imaging, I've had that done, dental lasers, I've had that done, Invisalign veneers, and more at Ocean View Dental. I'm treated like family. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like a big family in that office. Ocean View Dental patients come from all over Southern California. They're spreading the word because this is a full-service dental office with multiple options right at your fingertips. They get you the smile you want in most cases in just one day. Head to oceanviewdental.net. That's oceanviewdental.net. And coming up, we have two major storylines coming out of the NBA. One hysterical, one not at all. That's next.
That was really gross. I'm sorry I said that, TD. This update is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Starting off locally, Aztecs men's hoops. They are fresh off their national championship run from March. The boys opened up their 2023-24 season with a bang against Cal State Fullerton. Aztecs win last night, 83-57. Jaden Ledee effortlessly pours in a career-high 27 points. Micah Parrish, 5 3-pointers in the win. Next up for the Aztecs, they got Provo, Utah. They're taking on BYU this Friday night. NFL Chargers win big last night on Monday Night Football. 27-6 was the final score. Austin Eckler had a big game, 2 rushing touchdowns in the win for the Chargers. Zach Wilson sacked 8 times. Get off the ground, man. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Happy Tuesday. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. San Diego Sports 760.
I'm really sorry, man. That was gross.
What did
About
you do?
your comments?
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about Brock the dog.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about the various activities that Brock the dog does
He's going through
around
puberty. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's figuring out things about himself.
Right.
And
Yeah.
how much he really likes this blanket.
Yeah, and then he
Mhm.
commented on how excitable Brock is, and then he said he takes after his dad.
Just humping the couch.
That's correct.
It all started with Travis like taking his first sip of a Monster in like months.
So good.
And I was like, what's that doing to you?
Yeah. Speaking of humping the couch, New Kids on the Block tickets. Giving them away. Yeah. We do have a pair of those. We will be giving away. They're going to be at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on July 7th. Tickets and info, you can go to livenation.com or just keep listening for your chance to win. We'll be giving those away shortly.
So NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, this was yesterday, said he will take full responsibility for the lack of intensity in recent NBA All-Star games, a realization he came to after speaking to 13-time All-Star Chris Paul, apparently. So he said, this is according to Silver, as Paul put it, I should say. You guys tell us how important the All-Star game is, but then you change all of our pregame protocols so that we don't go through the typical routines as we would before a game. These elaborate introductions. No complaint about the introductions. We understand why you do it, but then you expect us to go out there with the mindset of playing typical basketball games. So that's a really bad excuse, if you ask me.
Oh, terrible.
Like, you can find a way to get yourself warmed up and ready to play a basketball game and not get injured.
So just what he's saying is because they don't warm up, they don't try.
No, it's because he's saying that there's like every player gets like a 3-minute thing at the beginning of every All-Star game. And he said it just takes you out of the pregame routine. So if you do warm-ups 30 minutes ahead of those introductions, like you would normally do for a regular basketball game, well, then you're sitting an additional 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
It's a dumb excuse.
I get it. But when you watch this game, no one cares.
If the NBA wants it to matter, you need to put real stakes on the line.
Yeah.
You need to make something to do with playoff home court advantage. You need to make something financial. You need to do something to make it actually matter to these players.
Yep, loser dies.
I agree.
Sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads.
So it's kind of funny in the NBA right now. If you guys have seen any of the interviews with players when they get asked about the in-season tournament, everyone's like, I don't know what the F is going on. Like, I don't really know how it works.
Dude, this was such a disaster of an unveiling. Look, we're all hoops fans here. I watch basketball. I've watched probably a handful of games already this season. Lakers, Clippers. It doesn't matter.
Watched a lot of Spurs. I really like Wemby.
And I've watched Spurs games. Actually, I've watched 2 Spurs games. I almost from tip-off to final whistle. Like, I like basketball. I have no idea how this tournament works. No clue.
Someone made a video explaining it, and I kind of get it now. They're trying to do what the World Cup does, except it's spread over like the first 8 or 9 weeks of the season.
So stupid.
So it's like Friday nights only, some Saturday nights. It's confusing. But anyways.
Or just shorten the season and make each game worth more. So we do this in-game tournament at the end of the season and we call it playoffs.
Well, they're kind of making it stretch over the first half of the season, which is traditionally when NBA ratings really struggle and then they pick up again in the second half. But what they're doing and what they really nailed on the head is that the team that wins the championship, every single person on that team gets $500,000.
Yeah.
The in-season championship. So players are going to care about that because $500,000 is not a chunk of change you just laugh at.
Well, here's the problem. The players who do care about that are sitting on your bench. the players who are starting for these basketball
I don't care
teams,
how rich you are. $500,000 means something.
I promise you that's true for most. And I mean in the world. It's not that true in the NBA. Now, I'm not doubting that you may see a little bit more effort out of them staking money on it, but I think it's the wrong approach. I think that Adam Silver has lost his way. And I think the unfortunate realization that he's going to come to, whether it's during his career, already has, or he will after his career as commissioner of the NBA, is you can't both be on the owner's side and try to do what's best for the health of the sport and be every single player's best friend. It just doesn't work. Roger Goodell, for as much as I hate him, and I do,
Boo.
he has helped the NFL reach new heights. And the reason why is because there is balance. The union doesn't have complete control. The owners don't have complete control. In fact, you could argue that it's probably more of a 60-40 split in favor of the owners, which I'm not thrilled about. But you need to have better balance. The NBA, it's complete. The pendulum has swung completely to the player side. It's ruining the league.
But if the players in the NFL, and I would be more of a fan of a 50-50 split.
Exactly.
But if the players somehow were able to get the 60 and the owners had the 40, it would hurt the game.
Well, it would hurt the game. Look, let's put it this way. There are things about the NBA that really works, and there's things about the NBA that make you feel good, like lifetime medical for all these players. And there's a lot of benefits from, it's kind of like happy cows make better milk. Like there's benefits to treating the players better. However, if the power pendulum swings too far to one side or the other, either to the ownership side or to the player side, you're going to ruin the balance of the workforce, and it's going to destroy
everyone.
These
Needs
leagues.
to be a little pissed off 24/7.
Exactly.
Okay.
You need to have conflict to have a good negotiation.
Here's the problem, though, with the NBA is the average casual NBA watcher, especially as it gets towards the end of the season and things get exciting and you're watching playoff basketball. The casual watcher is not that deep into who has power in the NBA.
No. But it shows this way. It shows when stars are resting on the sideline instead of playing an important game.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as a whole, the NBA has to look at this product and go, why are people walking away from this?
Right,
it's because it's not fun. We want to watch the stars out there playing. We want to watch competitive games. We want to see those last second jumpers. We want to see Lamont Butler hitting this last second shot and winning the game, and it's unbelievable, and it's a feeling like no other. The casual watcher doesn't know why there's a pendulum swinging one way or the other. So at some point, the NBA, if you want to save yourself, you better figure it out.
Yeah, look, in Major League Baseball, the owners have too much power, and the reason why I know that is because there's no basement. They can spend whatever they want on these teams. So you can have an Oakland A's or a Tampa Bay Rays who spend nothing on payroll. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Padres for years, nothing on payroll and just skate by, collecting profit margin checks. It's brutal. It's awful. In the NBA, the players have way too much power. So, I mean, trust me, you like Victor Wembanyama, he will eventually be one of these load management guys too. Because
that's the problem with a hyper regionalized sport like NBA is. The biggest fans are the ones in the city. Well, stars can just leave. So after you wrap your arms around him, Victor Wembanyama gets pissed off one season. He could be like, no, I want to go play for the Warriors.
Yeah. I want to join Giannis with Milwaukee. I want to go play with LeBron in his final years.
And if you don't want to send me there, I'll just sit down and not do anything because that's where I want to go. So take the worst deal.
Absolutely. They call out where they want to go, and it happens. It's bizarre.
More power to the owners.
Well, man, in the NBA, you want
dirty.
Did you catch any of the Laker game at all last night?
Nah, I was Aztecs in football.
Oh, yeah. AD hurt his hip.
Yeah. He leaves in the second quarter with a hip spasm, which
that guy's made of glass.
That's not good.
He's
Also,
hurt every year.
Game-winning shot is in LeBron's hands, and he passes it away.
Yeah.
What a loser.
Hang on.
Learn how to play, bubs.
What has he ever done?
Yeah.
How about Nikola Jokic?
Love that guy.
Let's talk about a champion. Let's talk about a guy.
He's had quite the glow up, by the way, since winning the championship last year. He started spending a little money on himself. He's wearing nice Rolexes, expensive suits.
He didn't even have any money before.
His face is still ugly, but
wow, God.
And also, I wish people in glass houses, Ben. It's just one of those things.
I have a cute face.
I've
been told by many people.
Ugly.
Jesus. This is such
He
an
still
awful.
has like the most boring way of talking ever, but what he says is golden. Oh, would you like to?
Oh
hear it?
yeah, I thought you were going right into it.
Yeah,
Right
Okay,
there.
I gotta set it up a little bit. So Nikola Jokic gets to his press conference last night after a win, and he opens up by saying, "Don't worry about asking questions. I'll handle it."
Okay. Okay. Good night.
Yeah, I checked every box.
Yeah. So amazing. Julian played well. The third quarter went great. I passed Jason Kidd. I'm now fourth for triple doubles in NBA history.
See ya.
Yeah. Look, Nikola Jokic is, in my opinion, as funny as that clip was, an example of reason why the NBA is also struggling. So look, where is his hometown?
Not in the USA.
No, I know.
No, yeah.
Can you name the city he grew up in?
No.
No.
Yeah, I can't either. Okay. I barely could point to the map of the country of origin. The problem with the NBA, look, Victor Wembanyama, I love him. I have no idea what his young life looked like in France because I'm not from there. Now, I'm not some nationalistic maniac. I love the melting pot quality of the United States of America. I think it's great.
Nikola Jokic was born in the city of Sombor in the northern part of Serbia.
I was going to say
He
that.
grew up racing horse wagons.
You know why LeBron James cuts through? You know why Kobe Bryant cuts through? You know why some of these young American stars cut through and they become the faces of generations of basketball players? It's because
Philadelphia, Akron, Ohio.
exactly. It's because we know those places, right? It's because we can attach ourselves to the rising action of the story. We're not there at the climax. We're there with them for the ride. And even if we weren't there with them from the ride, while we're reading the or listening to broadcasters or we're reading the articles about them, we can picture it because we know what the suburbs outside of Philadelphia look like. We know what Akron, Ohio, and hard times in the Midwest look like. We've lived it. We've experienced it. It's very difficult to attach yourself to a Luka Doncic or a Nikola Jokic or a Victor Wembanyama or a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like these guys, guys. I mean, they're fantastic basketball players, but it feels like watching the Olympics. It
does. You are correct. You are correct. And I'll say the other reason that we are infatuated with the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans, it's because they never did the load management thing. I mean, was there ever a time Kobe Bryant wasn't out there to go win a game? I mean, he has famous quotes of, look, I mean, there's dads buying their kids a ticket, spending hundreds of dollars to come see me. You don't think I'm going to lay it out here on the court every single night?
In fact, there were multiple times when Kobe's doctors told him not to play, and he played instead.
Late in his career, LeBron, I feel like it's always an excuse. It's like, groin here, calf there. but overall, throughout his career, he hadn't done that. And you kind of give an excuse to a guy who's nearing 40.
Yeah.
But that's the reality is like I think the load management is a huge problem and that's really a commissioner problem. That's an NBA owner's problem. They need to figure out a deal with the players to get them back on the court. But the biggest problem with basketball is I can't attach myself to these stories like I used to.
Yeah, it's not relatable in a couple ways, right? Like NFL, the guys look like superheroes, but it's not like they're 7 foot tall superheroes.
Yeah.
Right. In the NBA, you have Victor Wembanyama who looks like nobody.
Yeah. Like you don't know anybody who looks like Victor Wembanyama.
There's a reason why Steph
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we have one in our newsroom.
But the part of the reason Steph Curry was so took over the country the way he did was because you're like, oh, I've seen high school basketball players that look like Steph Curry.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, Steph Curry, another example of a guy who we know Del Curry, his father playing in the NBA. We know he was born. We know the story of Creighton. There's so many different things. Davidson, sorry, Creighton. There's so many things that you can attach yourself along the way to a lot of these players, and it makes it easier. I don't know. It makes it relatable is the perfect way you just put it. It's relatability, and the NBA is really lacking in that category.
Because I love college basketball so much, and I know you guys don't really care, but number 4, Michigan State, yesterday loses to
Jim
unranked
Harbaugh.
James Madison.
James Madison, dude, their football team's having like a resurgence too.
Are they actually?
Yeah. Like James Madison,
the James Madison Dukes took down Tom Izzo in Michigan State last night. And it's day 1 of college basketball. We have one of the craziest upsets we'll ever have.
Huge upset with USC taking down Ohio State also.
And then in women's college basketball, LSU number 1.
Maybe I'm thinking of the women's side.
Number 1 in the country, LSU loses yesterday to like number 20 Georgetown. Crazy.
James Madison.
I love college basketball.
4th U.S. president.
He was a really good one.
Man, really good.
Really super
duper.
Was he the one that could have fit in bathtubs?
No, that was
Howard Taft.
That was Taft.
Yeah.
Taft was a thick ass boy. He needs SDFatLoss.com.
You're damn right.
We did SDFatLoss.com, and look at us now.
Look at us. We can fit in like whatever bathtub.
I would say majority of tubs.
But yeah,
look, if you're having trouble fitting in your tub out there, you know who you are. I want you to do me a favor and pick up the phone right now and call SDFatLoss.com. Am I fat shaming our listeners? Good.
Yeah, but I feel like you would be saving someone's life right now.
858-665-3211. Get your free consultation with Miss Chloe and Wayne. They actually reached out to us yesterday, sent us a text message congratulating us on getting through the reduction phase. We are now to the maintenance phase, which is going to be another challenge that we can't wait to get through. The 3 of us have lost an absurd amount of weight. Rich Ornberger looking spry as he lifts up studio equipment over his head, and he's doing something dirty to a chair. Travis Dale, you wouldn't even recognize this boy. He was a thick-ass boy.
And now you can recognize me.
Now his neck feels like you can actually fit your arms around it, which I only want to do half the time.
Are we building a fort right now?
Get on over to SDFatLoss.com if you want to be able to fit in your bathtub by the end of the month. Find out the secrets of losing up to 1 pound of fat every single day. No exercise required, no counting points, no counting calories, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections, no surgeries, no nothing, just good old-fashioned dieting. And you too can lose a bunch of weight. I've lost over 35 pounds. Rich has lost over 35 pounds. TD is nearing 35 pounds lost. This stuff works, and we really only do endorsements for stuff we're passionate about, none more so than this one. Man, we've lost a lot of weight, TD. And coming up on the holiday season, it's going to be tricky. But if you have the tools provided by Chloe and Wayne, you too can be successful.
Accountability.
The accountability is the biggest thing. Like I said, they sent us a text yesterday. We're on a group chat with Wayne and Chloe, and they send us stuff to congratulate us. And I'll be honest, they send us stuff to call us out.
They do that, yes.
And we needed it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it works, and the accountability is the biggest part. So SDFatLoss.com, free consultation. Head on over to my Twitter account, @FletchSports. See the before and after picture. It's absurd what this has done for me.
Coming up, we're going to dig in a little bit deeper here with that Padres pitching staff. And we got New Kids on the Block tickets coming up next. We got some Padre pitching problems, and we got New Kids on the Block tickets next.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. We are so late for this segment. We spent a lot of time talking NBA. We promise not to do that anymore.
So the sponge candy, I knocked off some of the chocolate, and it has no weight to it at all.
Okay, so what I'm realizing is what a tremendous business model it is making sponge candy. So the inside, when it melts down to nothing in your mouth.
Okay.
So if you think about raw ingredients, it's mostly air. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's pulling insulation out of the chair.
Which one's chair? Which one's sponge candy?
That's a great point. Yeah, I really can't tell the difference. Wow.
Wrap that in chocolate. Enrobe that.
Enrobe it. But the chocolate is delicious, though.
Oh, I'm fine with this.
I can't wait to clip out just the part of the video where you're reaching down between your legs and have a really strained look on your face.
It took a lot of strength to rip that apart, by the way.
Because it's going to look like something else.
WatsonChocolates.com is where we got the sponge candy from. They also offer other candies because we're still confused as to what sponge candy is.
This is a Buffalo Bills treat.
Yeah, it is. It's from Buffalo, New York. We had the lady on who invented it, I think. And she talked about her liquid hot chocolate enrober. All right, that's all the time we have for this segment. So we promised to talk Padres pitching problems on the other side. Also, Monday Night Football. Also, huge win for the Aztecs. Yeah. But before we go, I want to talk to you guys about your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Okay. San Diego County Toyota dealers, my experience with them is not limited, but mostly encompassing around the first time I walked onto a lot, which was the first time I became a Toyota owner. I needed a car. I had a major breakdown. I was driving the wifey's car to work, and that strains a family. Anybody who relies on two automobiles knows what I'm talking about. Needed to get a car. We had recently rented a 4Runner. It was an awesome experience. I end up going to a lot, and they sit me down in the 4Runner, and I expected them to be like, oh yeah, and this is the sales price, and yeah, if you don't act now, you're going to miss out on this great deal, smoking hot deal. It was none of that. It was like, yeah, it's good that you like the 4Runner. It's a great car. And that was about it. That was about as far as the conversation went. And then I took it for a test drive. I'm like, yeah, I mean, same as when I rented it. This thing's great. Parked the car, like, well, let us know what you think. Take a walk around the lot. They weren't pushy, is my point. They let me make the decision, is my point. I like that. I don't want to be forced to buy anything. I want to make the decision myself. So after taking a lap around the lot, I was like, yeah, I think this is the car for us. I called my wife, made the decision, sat down with Toyota's great finance team, worked out all the details. I literally rolled off the lot with a brand new 4Runner that day. San Diego County Toyota dealers make it easy. It's not just a motto that they use on their commercials. It's the actual truth. And also, by the way, if you're interested in other cars than the 4Runner, they have a full line of SUVs. They have an awesome line of pickup trucks. We've been talking a lot about the new Tundra. That's going to be my next car. I can promise you that. That thing is beautiful. Fletch over here drives around in the Tacoma. The Tacoma, that's a great light duty pickup truck. First thing we did when he got that sucker, we hopped in, took a ride, got some breakfast. Awesome time. Look, but Toyota has a great they've got a great selection of cars as well. I want you to get out to San Diego County Toyota dealers today if you're interested in buying a car and you don't want to be pushed around on the lot and you want to make the decision for yourself. They make it easy. Toyota.com for more details. Okay, coming up next, we review Monday Night Football. We get back to the Aztecs' big win over Fullerton. And of course, a couple of Padres thoughts heading into the upcoming season, including where's their manager? That's next.
This update is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Starting off locally, Aztecs men's hoops. They fresh off their national championship run from March. The boys opened up 2023 with a bang against Cal State Fullerton. Aztecs win last night 83-57. Jaden Ledee pouring in a career-high 27 points. Micah Parrish, 5 3-pointers in the win. Next up for the Aztecs, traveling to Provo, Utah. They got BYU this Friday night. In the NFL, Chargers win big last night. Monday Night Football, 27-6 final score over the Jets. Jets. Austin Eckler, big game, 2 rushing touchdowns in the win. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Yeah! Woo! Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on a pretty marvelous Tuesday morning, if you think about it. Look, even though Dean Spanos and company made a disgusting decision chasing money up in LA and moving the Chargers away, I still bump into Chargers fans around this city all the time.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
A lot of people can't quit
they
this
still
team.
rate better down here than they do in Los Angeles.
Oh, they most certainly do.
Well, the sting is probably wearing off a little bit for some.
And so it was a happy night in certain households around San Diego because the Chargers did get a win on the road. They improved to 4-4 on the season. We'll get to that in a second, but I really want to start with where we got to start this show, which was men's hoops is back at Viejas Arena, San Diego State. This is no small feat that they pulled off. That was a dominant win over Cal State Fullerton. And we were having this conversation about style points in the NFL. Doesn't matter, but in college hoops,
they most certainly matter.
Yeah, they do.
And you can see it in KenPom. They jump up 4 spots from last night.
You have a big win against a good team like Fullerton. It's going to help you.
And look, Fullerton, I think when they were making this schedule, thinking about the team, because they make these 4 or 5 years in advance. And so when they were making the schedule, Dutch, knowing he was going to have a good team this year, really stacked the deck against themselves. And this is a tough non-conference schedule. Fullerton was not supposed to be that team. Fullerton was supposed to be a banner-raising night, and now they didn't know it would be a Final Four banner, but they were assuming it was going to be some kind of banner that you just walk in and kind of can have a walkthrough with. Fullerton's not a bad team.
No.
In fact, they're returning 3 starters from a team last year that made it to the NCAA tournament. They've had a head coach, Dietrich Thompson, who's been there for a long, long time and has a culture installed. They are a good college basketball team, and the Aztecs made them look not that.
So Cal State Fullerton, I've always had a bit of confusion with because their mascot is an elephant.
Yeah.
But they're called the Titans.
Great question. I
And
wonder
they
how that
also
happened.
use a tree.
Oh,
I thought
wow.
Stanford uses the tree.
Fullerton uses a tree. Stanford,
Hmm.
may as well. I don't really know, to be
Fullerton
quite honest.
Stanford has a
Elephant.
dancing tree. At
Oh,
their
yeah,
college
that's right. That's
basketball
right.
games.
It is.
It's very
It is.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. It's they're elephants,
Oh,
but
wow.
they're Titans.
Check this out.
Okay.
So I looked this up. Cal State Fullerton's mascot is an elephant named Tuffy Titan. The mascot choice dates back to 1962 when the campus hosted their quote unquote first intercollegiate elephant race in human history.
Wow.
The May 11th event attracted 10,000 spectators and 15 pachyderms.
Yeah.
What's a pachyderm?
It's
A pachyderm is
it's
an elephant.
Yeah. So they had 15 enter, and this had worldwide news coverage. The elephant mascot came into play after the students had held the Day of the Titan on the campus. The students named themselves the Titans in 1959. The idea for the elephant race began as a practical joke. A dean who had spent some time in India for his doctorate told the story about the Maharaja presenting the Coast Guard with an elephant as a thank you gift for saving his son. The students took the dean seriously. He was joking, and they ended up naming themselves the Titans, and Tuffy the Titan is the elephant mascot.
How about that?
Yeah, there you
When
go.
I was learning how to fly, I was taking off from the little airport in Hemet with my instructor, who was an older gentleman, and we were just leaving the runway, and we were, I don't know, maybe 1,000 feet in the air, and he goes, "My God, look down there! It's a pachyderm." Someone's backyard had an elephant in
This
it.
was a humble brag.
Yeah.
This was Tony Kanja accidentally sending me his location.
And he happened to be at the
Yeah,
gym
of course.
pounding out the weights at 6:45
Travis
this
Dale,
a.m.
You know, when I was getting my pilot's license, when
Wait,
I was flying my
Learning to fly.
twin engine private jet.
Wait a second.
Single engine, fixed wing.
You've never fixed wing? Yeah, you've never taken us flying.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Let's go flying.
Are we allowed?
Yeah.
Like, you're legally-
Everyone's allowed.
Wait, no.
What?
Hang on. Are you honestly, like, if we walked over to Montgomery right now,
No.
you could take a plane up?
No, I would have to actually, because it's been a while since I've re-upped my license. I would have to do 3 takeoffs and landings with an instructor.
Let me ask this question. Is it terrifying? We'll get back to that in a second, I promise. Is it terrifying to fly? Like, is there any part of
No.
it where you're actually scared or worried the entire experience?
You don't ever
The-
look down and be like, this isn't natural. I'm not supposed to be up here.
No, it's kind of like you're just in a little boat in the sky. It's fine. Have I been terrified? Yes.
What's like rough air? What scared you while you were piloting a plane?
Yeah, well, because there was a couple times where I had over trimmed the plane and I had let go of the yoke, and then it made an abrupt move that scared me. Where like I went weightless for a second.
Those words don't sound like they should belong on planes.
Yeah,
The
you didn't-
yoke,
Yeah,
trim.
Well,
I don't get
actually,
it.
you want to hear something crazy that I just learned? So apparently, in like the Soviet Union, like before it all broke apart and became Russia and a bunch of other
Now
like
the Soviet Union,
Eastern
that's not
Bloc
around
states.
anymore.
Mm.
No. USSR is gone.
Gone.
Russia now is the predominant landmass country out there, and then you have like Moldova and all these other Eastern Bloc countries. But back then they had their own domestic airline called Aeroflot or something like that, and their pilots constantly crash planes because they're all drunk on vodka. This is like, go back and read history. Like there's a story.
Was it only on Fridays? Or-
That was crazy. Like it was a big problem for a lot, like for a long time, like 20 years. They were just slamming commercial airliners into trees and to mountains.
Geography. Big
Yeah.
Rich, TD, and Flex.
So I'm
Anyways.
tired and I don't really care what I'm saying. Hence, I called Nikola Jokic ugly this morning.
Right.
But
You did do that.
in the first hour, I was talking about my fantasy
would you
football
do
team.
that?
And Rich, you said how bored you were while I was talking about my fantasy football team.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Soviet Russia crashing planes. And bro, it's boring me.
What, really?
Yeah.
You don't find that fascinating
No.
even a little
I
bit?
don't care. How many of those people are still alive today? 0. Because they crashed all their planes.
Good God, man.
Jesus, you need a nap.
What?
You need a nap in the
What's
worst
happening?
way.
Or a beer.
Wow.
I can't really tell at this point.
Did the 30-pack of Coors Light leave not our office?
Yeah, like weeks ago.
We
Oh,
still
okay.
have the kegerator.
Oh,
yeah.
Go
yeah,
get
bro.
yourself a Buena Vista.
If you
Yeah.
want a kegerator cleaning service, call Keg and Bottle. They'll take care of it.
10
Mhm.
locations around San Diego.
One
Um,
in Chicago, one in Santa Barbara.
The Aztecs win with Jaden Ledee playing the way he did. They're gonna have to rely on him a lot this season. Lamont Butler's back. I mean, they have key transfers. You look around this roster.
We haven't even talked about Reese Waters yet, who was the sixth man of the year in the Pac-12 last year. He from USC, comes over to San Diego State. He looked comfortable last night, which it's strange to see Aztec transfers look comfortable immediately because of how tough that system is to learn, especially on the defensive side of the basketball. But Reese comes out and looks like he's right at home with this team. That's huge for the Aztecs.
Oh, it's gigantic. And I mean, and Jaden Ledee was just a good bench player last year. Like, I mean, and a contributor. I'm not trying to
He
underrate
was
his
huge in the
performance.
tournament.
He-
And Dutch said it during the tournament run. He's like, we're scratching the surface with Jaden Ledee.
Yeah.
He's going to be a monster for us.
They were talking about on the broadcast how they were interviewing Dutch prior to the game. And they said Ledee's earned the ability to shoot outside shots this season
He
as
hit a
well.
3 yesterday.
Because he's been working on it. Yeah, it was right after that 3-point shot. So exciting season yet to come for the Aztecs. They've only scratched the surface on their season. They face BYU on the road. Huge test early season for the Aztecs. We'll have that game right here on your home of the Aztecs 760. What do you
I'm
got?
just watching Fletch here behind the mic as you talk about the Aztecs, and Fletch has kind of a distant gaze as she's just shaking his head
Yeah,
like, my God.
I'm honestly replaying
I'm
moments
in
from last night
love.
in my head. Like, you guys, I'm sad you weren't there because it was really cool. An hour and a half before tip-off, like John and I are just getting started with the pregame show. The line outside of Yejas Arena was already up to the steps. Like an hour and a half before tip-off. People were there that early. People are this excited for this Aztecs basketball season. And it's like there's a bunch of me's out there who love college basketball. And it's what it's done for this city is really incredible.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football also last night.
Dude, what a showing for the Chargers. So they're only favored by 3.5 going into this tilt against the New York Jets. That's a New York Jets defense, by the way, who all the nice things you say about a team on your way into a game, you have to say it on the way out. That's a dominant defense.
Yeah.
And the Chargers offense shut them down. Now, they got 7 points from their special teams, punt return from Darius Davis to start the scoring, but then they were able to go on and score 21 points themselves, and they held the Jets to 6. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and towards the end of the game, Chargers were driving down the field in a drive that they needed to cap off with some points if they were really going to solidify a win. Keenan Allen, man, oh man, that catch. Did you see the catch?
Yeah, it's unreal.
Oh, geez. I mean, he just flung himself out there, caught this ball, spun around, make sure it didn't hit the ground. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Catch of the year right now for me.
Is Keenan Allen the last San Diego Charger on this team? Well, Mike Williams and Joey Bosa are there.
Yeah, Bosa was drafted here. I think Mike Williams was the first draft pick up there, I think.
No, I think he was the final draft pick.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, 2016, it was Bosa was the draft pick, I believe. But yeah, so you're getting down to slim and none. Keenan Allen is in his 30s now. I don't know how much longer he has left at the NFL level.
He's 31 and he still looks great.
He does. I mean, he really does.
Like, it's wild to see what he does on a week in, week out basis, how he's always just open.
Yeah, he's a great route runner.
Oh, Rich, you just dumped me.
I did?
Yeah.
What button did I press?
Yeah,
wait,
which one works?
Oh wow, the dump button is F on our little console
It
here.
is?
That makes sense.
What?
It's the F button.
We were trying to figure this out before. Hold on. Do we have any dump built up?
0.2 seconds.
Okay, go for it.
That's it. Back to 0.
Wow!
Is it the F
we
button?
have a dump button.
We can dump
We
stuff.
can do it ourselves.
I don't think I'll ever know what's dumpable. Though.
Okay, so that was 10 seconds. So let's see. Rich said Keenan Allen is 31 years old.
You said 31 years old is super old.
No, I said it's pretty incredible to see him at 31 years old still always be open and be as quick as he is still.
Yeah, he's sudden and he is a smart route runner. So when he's coming out of his breaks, I think most times defenders just don't know what direction he's going to run. And it creates distance, and then he has great hands.
And
he can catch everything.
And Rich, there's something to it in the NFL, right? Where as guys get older, it's like they know what cornerbacks are going to do to them, and so it's pretty easy to tell the signs of like, oh, if he's playing me this way, I can just go this way.
Well, there's also look. I mean, what you just said is 100% correct. You really do, through your film study, you start to realize like, oh wow, yeah, I know our whole playbook. I don't need to look at our plays. I know what defenses are doing from a coverage standpoint or at the offensive line level, what the front seven is going to do. Now I'm going to hone in on the specific guys who I'm going to face on a play in, play out basis and find out where I can take advantage of them. So with Keenan Allen, he may observe that a particular defender is really bad in zone coverage, and he's going to find a way to beat him in zone because he kind of loses his coverage responsibilities, or maybe he gives too much cushion against certain spacing on formations, and so as a result of that, you can run right up on his toes, get him to back up, and then all of a sudden sit down on a hitch.
And that's a big reason Travis Kelce doesn't even have routes anymore. He just goes out and does what he knows will be open.
Well, he does have routes, but what's interesting about what they do is him and Mahomes, is they realize like, oh, the defense isn't running the coverage they were supposed to run against this formation. So they're running cover 3, which means I know Travis is just going to go shallow on this. And they're reading each other's minds. Like, and it's a beautiful thing when you could get to that point. It really feels like Herbert and Keenan Allen are there as well. All right, we already talked about it, but a 27-6 victory for the Chargers in New York against the Jets. All of a sudden, you've got Robert Saleh answering some hard questions, and the most important one is Zach Wilson going to be the starting quarterback for very much longer in NY? They dropped to 4-4. Chargers improved to 4-4 on the year. 83-57 final on the Mesa for the Aztecs. in their season and home opener against Cal State Fullerton. The Titans came to town. They leave losers. There was banner raising and celebration last night at Viejas.
Someone's already made the edit of Jim's bald head in front of the Final Four banner.
Of course,
Good.
Of course
Good,
they
good,
did.
good.
He gets in the way of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Ledee had a double-double, 27-point, 10-rebound night. Moving on to the NBA, Los Angeles Lakers star Anthony Davis experienced spasms in his left hip, according to the team, facing an early exit from last night's 108-107 loss to the Miami Heat. After the game, the big man said that he's very optimistic about a speedy return to the lineup.
Oh, my hip. Grandpa.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
That was Mrs. Fletcher, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually her name
Who's that?
in the ad.
Oh, really?
In the Life Alert ad, the woman who says I've fallen and I can't get up, when it shows the guy who's taking the call, he goes, "We're on our way, Mrs. Fletcher."
No
Okay,
way.
I thought you were talking crap about my mom. I think I'm tired enough to where I was ready to come in there and strangle that little neck of yours.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Fletcher.
And we got to thank SDFatLoss.com for Travis's tiny neck.
I
It
know.
used to be
It's so grabbable now.
the size of a giant inflatable tube.
Also, speaking of grabbing necks, the Simpsons, Homer Simpson no longer going to strangle Bart.
No.
Yeah,
Why?
they canceled it.
What?
They
Shut-
canceled it.
Culture
Oh,
sucks.
hang
Right.
on. Cartoon child abuse is
Yeah, it's fine.
okay.
What's
fine.
next? Is Peter Griffin going to stop making fun of Meg?
I don't know that yet. I don't know, but no longer Homer Simpson
So Four
strangling
Corners,
Bart.
favorite part of the week.
That felt like 2 Four Corner stories
In one.
Yeah, in one.
Really
So,
good.
but Four Corners is one of our favorite parts of the week. This week, it's delivering us with a new occupation.
What do we got?
There is a $22 billion treasure sitting off the coast of Colombia, just waiting for Big Rich, TD, and Fletch to go all into the blue and grab it.
Yeah, and
Oh,
sitting off the
wow.
coast of Colombia, it could be $20 billion worth of cocaine.
Dude, okay, I'm in.
I'm also in.
I'm like,
Treasure hunting movies are some of my favorites.
Hey,
Do it. We could be Nicolas Cage.
I love adventure. B, I'm a strong swimmer. C,
Colombian mommies.
and cocaine, which
D.
I hear is cool. I don't know for sure.
But we could have like a pirate ship too.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
So I mean, there's a bonus in that.
Okay, this is this is a true story, and I promise you, I'm not making this up. I saw this actually on TikTok prior to it popping up on Four Corners, where we span the map for the best stories from all four corners
The
of this here.
stories you didn't
world.
know that you need to know.
You need to know this. So Disneyland, Disney World has a huge problem. Long lines.
Mhm.
But there's also a problem in those long lines.
mhm.
Apparently, this is such a problem that they've had to put bathrooms in some of their queues to make sure that people stop pooping while online.
Disney adults are the weirdest, man. And I'm married to one of them.
Yeah.
And I can
Has-
tell you, she would probably poop her pants in line if it was long enough.
Well, I don't.
Yeah,
They're not
there it
even
is.
doing that.
There it is.
They're squatting on the ground.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and leaving a little soft serve offering right there in the walkway.
A little sponge candy.
That's right. That's right. Has Kendall ever done that?
No.
Mhm.
And she would never poop her pants.
Apparently-
Online, as Rich would say.
Apparently, at Disney they call it Code H.
Oh, wow.
So it's
When
so
there's-
prevalent. It's Code H, and that's because long ago, they would use that code when the horses
took a dump.
took a dump while they were walking around. So it
Oh,
was
wow.
horse crap.
So we
Okay.
got lots of military members who listen to this show. Big
Mhm.
Rich, TD, and Fletch. And we do thank you for your service every
Yes.
single day.
Yep.
But someone else thanking you for your service is the city of Las Vegas.
That's right. That's right.
TD, you want to lay this one up? for us?
Yeah, there's a Las Vegas strip club that's giving free lap dances to military members. It's their Veterans Day special.
You know what?
It's
Okay.
the Crazy Horse 3. It's
You guys
right
ready to
next to
enroll?
it's right next to Allegiant Stadium.
Let me
Shall
tell
we
you something.
enlist?
I swear, if there's one thing that's nearer to my heart than doing good for veterans, I can't name it. I think it's amazing to help these people out who help us live lives freely, the way you're supposed to. I mean, human inalienable rights that aren't given to a lot of people around this world. We have them here, and they're protected by these brave servicemen and women. And no better way to repay them
Free lap dances.
than free lap dances at a sleazy club right next to a football stadium on the Vegas Strip.
It's the Crazy Horse 3. So I don't know if 1 and 2 didn't make it, or if 1 and 2 are not offering the same deal.
Or maybe like they're so big that they're like, no. We have free lap dance Friday anyways. So Crazy Horse 3 are just to select people like our military members. Yeah, on Veterans
Look,
Day.
I mean, I salute you, Crazy Horse 3.
Can I ask this question? Like, is it retired, in service? Like, do you like?
Is it just if I wear camo?
Could you imagine a bunch of like Vietnam veterans walking in with those hats?
Yep, I can imagine.
Just a local VFW?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're just like,
grandpas.
well, boys, who's taking minutes tonight? It's going to be a short one because we got to head over to the Crazy Horse 3. Big day.
Where we're proud to be an American.
Okay, so check this out. We'll stay in Las Vegas. Raiders owner Mark Davis, you would assume this season going the way it has for the Raiders would be booed. He wasn't. He showed up for the game where Antonio Pierce was taking over as interim head coach in Vegas against the New York Football Giants before they really demolished the Giants. And the fans at Allegiant Stadium were cheering, Thank you for firing Josh McDaniel.
All right, get that
my
dumb
gosh.
button ready, because what's the chant when Dean Spanos walks out onto the field?
Yeah,
It's a different one that ends with you.
but it's pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's thanking them.
Head
though.
over to the Crazy Horse 3.
Yeah, I will thank the people over at stfatloss.com though, because I mean, if we're being honest, we were all fat.
Travis Dale was pretty close to death.
I mean, yeah, I had like a real bowling ball shape to me.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Hey, Chloe! I needed their help. I needed Chloe and Wayne to come in and save the day. And they did. SDFatLoss.com. We did this thing for 2 months. I lost 30 pounds. Rich over 35. Fletch over 35.
I think he's lost 70 pounds now. He sends us text messages. He's like, guys, all I am is eyeballs now.
Because it works. SDFatLoss.com works. And we didn't exercise. We didn't count points. We didn't count calories. We didn't do injections. Am I boring you, Fletch? You're yawning over there.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't exercise at all.
No, I don't know if I moved around.
I just didn't eat as much as I used to. I listened to Wayne and Chloe's advice on the things I should eat.
Right.
And the weight just poured off.
Yep. The healthy way to lose weight fast. That's what they'll show you. And if you jump on to SDFatLoss.com right now, you can schedule a free consultation today. And we'll all be doing this together here, because now, even though we're in the maintenance phase, hit us up. Ask us what worked, what didn't work. And to be quite honest, if you just follow what the staff and coaches tell you to do over there, you're going to be just fine, because they're going to hold your hand along the way. So 30 pounds in 2 months. I feel like there is no better proof that SDFatLoss.com works. So head over there today.
Awesome. Okay, coming up next, we do it every single Tuesday at 8:30. We check in with our very favorite doctor, Dr. David Chow, Pro Football Doc on Twitter or X is where you'll find him. He gives us the injury update around the NFL. That's next.
Coming up, we talk with our good buddy, Dr. David Chow, checking on some of these injuries around the NFL.
This update is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Aztecs Hoops, they're back, baby, and they win last night, 83-57 over Cal State Fullerton. Jaden Ledee pours in a career-high 27 points. Micah Parrish hits 5 threes in the win. Next up for the Aztecs, they got BYU in Provo, Utah this Friday night. That's a wild arena, by the way. It holds like 24,000 people. It's basically an NBA arena or even bigger. In the NFL, Chargers win big last night on Monday Night Football, 27-6 over the Jets. Austin Eckler, big game, 2 rushing touchdowns in the win. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
San Diego Sports 760. You're listening to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station Give-a-thon is happening this Thursday. It's a day we can get to say thank you to our local Warriors by raising money to send ill and injured service members home for the holidays. And we need your help. Be listening to our special programming all day long. It's brought to you in part by Unicorn Jewelry and Watch Boutique, the West Automotive Group, and MSE Landscape. Looking forward to that. We are going to be out there broadcasting live.
Sandy Lemcooler.
That's right.
Bill Leonard.
That's right.
Josue, the Wolfpack Basketball League.
Woo!
Dude, we've grown close to these people over the last couple of years, and
It's gonna be cool.
Mhm.
Every year we cry.
We do.
Yes, we do.
There's always tears nearby when you're talking to people who have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. No question about it. All right, switching gears back to the NFL. Dr. David Chow joining us on the line. Pro Football Doc is where you find him on X. 6score.com is where you find information on all the injury updates, not just in the NFL, around the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, all sports. Doc, good morning. How you doing?
Morning. How are you guys?
We're great, man. Monday Night Football, interesting game there, right? Because you're seeing, a quarterback like Zach Wilson just under siege the entire night. We saw something similar with another NFL team, the Giants with Daniel Jones, right? So when a quarterback is getting hit like that, right? Like Daniel Jones, I think took 30 plus sacks before the neck injury took him off the field for a couple of weeks. Does the medical staff check in with a quarterback? Like I've never noticed it during a game, but is there any times like it's incumbent upon like a team physician to walk over and be like, "Hey, are you all right?" Because he was getting dropped on his head a couple of times.
Well, I think it is incumbent. Rich, you know this. This is why even for a road game, you have 3 team physicians and 5 athletic trainers and likely a physical therapist. And it's eyes on the game. And you do check on people. Look, they checked on Daniel Jones at the end of the first quarter. I believe Daniel Jones tore his ACL at the end of the first quarter, the last play.
Yeah.
And he returned to start the second quarter and collapsed. By video, and we put it on our Twitter timeline at Sports Injury Central, sicscore.com. It was very clear it was the first quarter final play that he tears his ACL. And kudos to Daniel Jones. He wants to return. He shakes it off. Now, should the Giants, and I'm not accusing the Giants team doctors of not checking on him. It went away to commercial at the quarter. Don't know what they did or didn't do. Reporters were saying they checked on him. I don't know if they took him into the blue tent or examined him. That's the only way you could tell the ACL. Certainly the doctors on the sideline don't have the benefit of immediate video like I do, kind of deal. And they let him back in the game and he's out. But look, I've had players wave me off before. I mean, one time back in the day, and I can tell this story because I had HIPAA clearance from Drew Brees. Drew got dumped on his non-throwing left shoulder, and I went over to check on him. He came out the field at the third down sack, and I said, "You're right." He goes, "I'm fine." I said, "Your shoulder?" He goes, "I'm fine. It's on my left side. I'm fine." And so I let him go. And Doug Flutie came over and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Drew's hurt his shoulder." I said, "I know, but he doesn't want me to look at it." Then I went back over and looked at it and this, that, the other, et cetera, right? I mean, so look, this is your work environment, Rich. Would you want the team doctor, athletic trainer, and you say, "I'm fine," to say, no, I have to check your knee. Rich, get over here. You say, "Leave me the F alone. I've got a game to concentrate on," right? I mean,
yeah.
So there is some of that.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right. It is really difficult. In fact, that's how most mornings go here with TD. Like I'm always like, "Hey, do you mind if I just check your knee again?" And he's just like, "Why do you always touch me?" I'm like, "Give me your knee."
Keep your hands off of me,
Very
pal.
uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Doc, the 49ers have struggled without Debo out there on the field. He broke his clavicle or fractured his clavicle, however they want to state it. He's been out a few weeks. Is he good to go? I know he's back there on the practice squad, but I mean, do you see him coming back and being a full participant?
He's getting close. I mean, obviously they're coming off the bye. We'll have to see practice reports. But, everyone looks at Debo as the big one. But, McCaffrey probably was not 100% with the oblique. And don't, look past Trent Williams with the high ankle anchoring the left side. That changes a lot, to have that solid left tackle there. It changes the scheme. It changes a lot. And, defensively, the 49ers have struggled too. So that's obviously been a little bit of a surprise. A couple of weeks ago, they were anointed as the Super Bowl champions, right? And now all of a sudden they lost a couple games.
We can get back there, Doc. Don't worry. When you look at Cam Akers, he's now going through his second.
So let me ask Fletch this question. Okay. Where are you on Brock Purdy? I mean, Brock Purdy was the best thing since sliced bread. Now there's a lot of what I'm just asking. Where are you at?
If we're gonna start attacking, Doc, I don't know. This is a conducive conversation, all right? Look, of course, the confidence is shattered a little bit, but no, he's done a lot more good than he has bad, and he's been without a couple guys. I mean, the left tackle injury, that's a serious thing, and 75% Trent Williams is great, but it's not 100% Trent Williams, and without Deebo Samuel, the best run blocker from the wide receiver position that the Niners have, I'm getting off track.
But Rich and TD. Is it just me, or do you sense some sensitivity there?
There's a lot of sensitivity.
Did I attack Brock Purdy? I just asked a question. Where do you stand?
That is correct. That is correct.
I mean, it was just a question. Now, if you're right, left tackle is a big deal, but everyone in the world attacks Zach Wilson. But if you look at our Sports Injury Central field view, 4 out of 5 offensive line starters were out leading into that game. That's why this was our under. They 8 sacks, 3 turnovers. I mean, you can say Zach Wilson is not good, and that's independent. But you put Aaron Rodgers behind that line right now, and he's not going to be good. And the other thing I'd say about Brock Purdy, he's done very well. But I think what it's shown is it's different when you play from ahead, and it's different when you're chasing. And it's the elite quarterback that can chase, right? And that's what we're finding. I think Brock is still the same guy. He's really pretty good. He makes all the right reads and whatever. When you run past, he can get it done. But when it's everyone in the building knows you're going to throw the ball and you're down and you're chasing, that's where the cream rises to the top with the elite. That's all I'm saying.
And Doc, what what we're getting out of this, Doc, is that you're saying that Zach Wilson, a far better quarterback than Brock Purdy. I mean, light years better.
If the Niners still had Robbie Gold, 2 of those losses would have been wins, by the way. Jake Moody sucks. Kickers are the worst.
Jake Moody. I mean, one of the best last names in football. Hey, Doc.
Wait, Cam Akers. I want to ask about Cam Akers.
We should put Fletch on the injured list here with a tender heart.
Tender heart's true. A broken heart, maybe.
Speaking of kickers, let me ask you guys this question. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a little poll here. Quick poll here. More fantastic, the running back for the Texans kicking the winning field goal, admittedly a short field goal, but kicking the winning field goal when they were going for 2 points, the whole game, or Josh Dobbs joining the team as the backup, being prepared as the backup, and coming in to win the game when he probably doesn't know all the names of his offensive linemen. More fantastic. Which one?
Josh Dobbs, more I think we're all in consensus, right?
I mean, no, I would say a backup kicker.
Ogunbowale?
I would say that is pretty impressive.
It was cool. Definitely jealous of Ogunbowale. It could have been
or I think you were in New England at the time, Rich, if I'm not incorrect, or a Doug Flutie drop kick.
Oh, that's true. No, I wasn't there for that, but I watched the film in New
Rich
England.
Was a backup kicker at one point. He was the emergency kicker for the Cardinals.
My claim to fame. Gosh, if only. I you know what? Honestly,
who was the starter?
It was Jay Feely, and I wanted to poison him. Like I honestly, I'm friends with Jay to this day, but I've told him this. I would have, had I stayed healthy that season. At some point, I would have just nothing like serious, but just sprinkle a little bleach in his iced tea or something.
My God,
just a little bleach, not serious.
Nothing too
serious. I mean, how much cyanide can a human body consume?
Well, we have you on, Doc.
Jay Feely's a pretty virile guy.
This is probably something. If I wanted to prank Rich or TD and just make them unconscious for a little bit,
Lord,
what would be the best way to do that without going to jail?
Daddy long legs and a peanut butter sandwich.
Would you faint?
I don't know. I have no idea. That was like a old wise tale of what the mobsters used to do.
Hey, Doc, is there a real such thing as an Achilles heel? Like Cam Akers tore both his Achilles. Is that like a real thing? Like, can you have weak Achilles and that just be what it is?
Well, certainly in Greek mythology, right? There's the Achilles heel, and according to lore, maybe it's true. That's how they hunt elephants, right? They cut their Achilles tendon from behind. But the Achilles heel is actually the bony structure. The tendon, Cam Akers, it's happened before. Terrell Suggs tore both sides.
Oh yeah.
Michael Crabtree tore both sides, I believe. I mean, it's happened before. And look, people have torn both sides ACLs, and it's other than Josh Dobbs, the saving grace. If you really think about the poor Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins Achilles, Jaron Hall doesn't get to a quarter concussion, and Cam Akers was the emergency backup quarterback that day.
Oh wow, that's right.
So Josh Dobbs, a newcomer from Arizona, the pastronaut, he was the only guy standing. I mean, only guy immune to the quarterback curse there so far.
Yeah, not a good time.
And Nick Mullins on IR.
Yeah. That's right. He got injured earlier.
So getting back to how do I knock out Rich and or Travis?
Point. Yeah. Is there any sort of
maybe the key is to name him the Vikings starting quarterback or put him on the quarterback rotation?
Ooh, okay. So we just have to buy us a plane ticket to Minnesota.
Also, ether.
and ether.
Yeah.
Right. There's that too.
Don't look too far into this, but I have looked into chloroform before, and it turns out it's
Right.
really easy to kill someone with chloroform.
What? Shocker. Probably with ether as well. Doc, what say you?
Absolutely nothing. I am not part of this conversation at all. As a matter of fact, I think I had a bad connection and it buzzed out for a little bit. Bad connection. I don't see or hear what you're doing.
Right.
Doc, we appreciate your time every Tuesday. We'll do it again in a week. That's your injury report brought to you by SICScore.com. That's Sports Information Central, score.com. Dr. David Chow, you're simply the best. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
There he goes, Doc Chow. Yeah,
Simply the best.
he said he didn't confirm nor deny. That's what that response means. So we need ether.
Yeah. Which is starting fluid.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Easy. Easy.
Go
You
pick
can-
that up.
Hardware store.
So
Right.
the chloroform thing, it wasn't me. One of my buddies in college looked into it,
Yes. Back to
Yeah,
this.
yes.
and I think
Very
actually
important.
went down the road of purchasing some.
I love the fact that
this seems really bad. I
this-
just don't know if we should do this
Well,
on the air.
No, we didn't use any of it.
Okay.
But it's like really easy to kill someone with it.
dude, yeah, it's really
Well-
easy to kill someone with a hammer.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
all you got to do is swing it. But you don't suggest you do that.
Correct.
No, I'm saying the opposite. Don't do it.
Right. Except you just asked the doctor how to knock the two of us unconscious, and then you regaled us a tale about how in college
In
you
a
purchased
safe way.
chloroform.
I didn't buy it. In a safe way.
Also, Google says that daddy long legs are not harmful to humans.
Okay.
So I can't eat them.
Now-
Isn't it because
now
their
what?
fangs aren't sharp enough to pierce human skin?
No, it's because their venom is not lethal or doesn't even make humans sick.
Dude,
Doesn't harm humans.
I remember outside of a preschool that we were touring one day. This is when Ty, so this is years ago. This is like 5 years ago. Ty, we were going to send him to this preschool, and there was a kid out front tearing the legs off of a daddy long legs. And not only had he done, he was doing it currently to a daddy long legs. He had done it to two others that their little armless bodies were just sort of like fanging their way across the pavement. I'm just like, yeah, we're not sending him here. Not with this maniac on the loose. So, anyways, that's my daddy long leg story.
good.
Coming
And
up
his
next, I'm
name
going to
was
tell
Jeffrey
you my
Dahmer.
California orb weaver story.
Cannot wait. Also, we have New Kids on the Block tickets to give away. That is happening next.
The hell is the matter?
Oh, 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 oh.
The right stuff.
New Kids on the Block tickets next.
Yeah, the soothing sounds of NK. What is it? NKOTB.
TB.
Yeah, NKOTB.
What?
Oh boy. There's a
Don't
lot
go
of,
into the control room, is what
there's
we were
a
just told.
lot of things happening with Fletch this morning. He is having a rough start to the day.
Oh, it's a great start.
This box of sponge candy is $30 if you'd like to send it to your family and friends here for Christmas time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, sponge candy, it's grown on me. I probably have 4 of them.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like sponge candy. Turns out I just keep eating sponge candy.
I don't know how to describe it.
It's I don't know either. It's almost a little honeycomby.
Yeah, but it's not. It like dissolves in your mouth.
It's
very
weird. When I
strange.
asked if it was honeycomby earlier, you said it was nothing like honeycomb.
I
Fletch,
don't
you're a
think-
stupid idiot.
I don't think it's
I mean,
anything
it's
like
it's
honeycomb.
honeycomb in the fact that
So
it's
weird.
like emptiness.
Wait, but that's not honeycomb. I still don't think it's like honeycomb at all.
It's more like honeycomb
Unless-
cereal.
Have I ever had honeycomb?
Wait, no, not honeycomb like wet.
Oh,
Like honeycomb like cereal.
Oh, that's what you're talking about? The cereal?
I'm talking about like the honeycomb, the dried out candy honeycombs
I
that
never-
are covered in
I've-
chocolate.
I've never had that.
Oh, I've never had that.
I'm pretty
either.
sure that's what this is. Like that's all I'm saying.
No, this is sponge candy.
We need to have a long talk after this show.
Yeah.
You are disappointing us all.
New Kids on the Block tickets.
Yeah, let's give them away.
Let's give
Actually,
away in 2 minutes
2
exactly.
minutes,
I like that,
56.
guys. I need
I'm
it.
literally
Yeah.
just perusing this catalog.
Okay, real quick. Which quarterback would you want to start the rest of the season for you? Zach Wilson, Josh Dobbs, Tyson Bagent, or Clayton Tune?
Dobbs. Give me Dobbs. I picked Dobbs.
You got Dobbs.
You can have Dobbs.
Wow.
Clayton Tune, Bagent, Dobbs, Zach Wilson.
Josh
me
Dobbs came
Bagent.
out. And
You want Bagent?
Give me Tyson Bagent.
You know what's so crazy is I'll take Josh Dobbs. No, the thing is, it doesn't matter who we select. The fact that none of us wanted Zach Wilson, who's in his 2nd year as an NFL starter.
because he sucks.
Is it third?
I think he's in his 3rd year.
No.
Yeah, no, I think the first year he started the entire season. Last year he got replaced by Mike White at one point, and then this year
Is he in his 3rd
I think
year
he's in his
already?
3rd.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh. First of all, I feel like I may have missed a year accidentally.
Mhm.
Because I am.
I could be totally wrong on that.
I
What
thought
wasn't
that-
his rookie season last year?
It wasn't. I could have
No.
sworn it was. Maybe I've deleted one of these years.
He was selected in the 2021 draft.
Okay. Yeah. So he
Mhm.
played
this will be
2021,
year 3.
2, and 3. Okay. Well,
I typed in Zach Wilson, and the very
Mom.
first thing, mom comes
Yeah,
up first.
well, look, I mean, if we're gonna go through the list again, Bajan, Dobbs, or Clayton Toombs' mom, I'm taking Zach Wilson's.
Yeah, but Tyson Bagent's dad is cool.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a great point.
But we don't know if Zach Wilson's dad is cool.
But also,
are we choosing the mom on like which dad we could beat up?
Oh my
Let's see.
gosh.
Yeah, hang
What?
on.
But Tyson Bagent also has the situation where he's definitely not going to be the starter the rest of the season. Josh Dobbs and Zach Wilson probably are going to be the starters the rest of the season.
I changed my mind. I'm taking Zach Wilson.
Dude, yeah, we
Are you
could.
looking at his mom again?
Yeah, we are.
we're gonna. I'm gonna go Zach Wilson as well.
Yeah, actually, yeah. This is a Zach Wilson show, Ben. So you can take your Bajan and just shove it.
Wait, let's Tyler Bajan.
Yeah,
Tyson.
Tyson.
That's what I
We
meant.
mess that up every time.
Every single time. I call him Taylor
He
Bajan.
looks like a Tyler.
He really does.
Let's see if we can find his mom.
What if she's dead?
I don't think so.
Wait,
Wait, hold on. Wait, is that his mom?
Wait a second.
Wait, hold on.
the phone.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Tyson Bajan. Tyson Bajan. Call right now, 844-570-1360. If you want New Kids on the Block tickets, we got a pair for you. You got to call right now, 844-570-1360. Fletch, who do we thank today?
Dr. David Chow. Love that guy. He was updating us on all sorts of legal things.
Yeah, he really was. He said that he's going to send us a lawsuit.
Also, the
We'll hear
roadies, the
from
dogs,
his
the
lawyers.
hangers, the bangers. Thank you to all of you that came by and said hello at the Aztecs game last night. It was good seeing a bunch of you. And what a night at the Ajas Arena. Can't wait for the rest of this season. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Travis. Roadies, dogs, hangers, bangers.
All right, that's
night.
it. That's our show. We'll do it all over again tomorrow, and then we'll see you at the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station on Thursday. But the Herd is next with Colin Cowherd.